at 105.7 The Fan and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Bruce Cunningham Show. And this is kind of a special edition. We have kept this quiet. We haven't made any big announcement because we wanted to do it right here, right now. As you know, I did this show I did this show by myself for years and years and years. And then earlier this year, we added Femi Ayanbadejo. It became the Bruce and Femi Show. Well, Femi was so good that they pulled him out of the weekend ghetto. He's now 5 days a week with Ken, in the afternoons there. Final Drive, it's called. So the spot was open. And Joe LaCroix, our program director, he said, well, what do you think about Steve Molesky? I said, Steve Molesky? I've known Steve Molesky 25 years. We got the same background. We're great friends. Are you serious? He said, yeah, I'm serious. Well, guess what, folks? It's my pleasure to introduce my new partner on this show, Steve Molesky.
Bruce, a long-time listener, long-time fan. I've enjoyed this show on Saturdays for a long time, and you do a great job with it, and you have a great sensibility for this show, and you have an amazing audience, by the way, that follows you every Saturday, and hopefully they're going to welcome me in, getting rid of my cold and all. It's been an interesting week or so, but man, I'm thrilled to join you. I'm thrilled to have a little bit bigger role here. I've been involved a little bit here, obviously, with our baseball coverage, and I just love what the Fan does. I love the staff, and I love this show. So to be on it is pretty darn cool.
Well, I'm glad to have you, and we're going to have plenty to talk about. That's no problem. But first, a little bit of background. Steve and I, we share several things in common, and I want to just put these out in the beginning. Number one is Kingsville. I spent 5 years living in Kingsville. Steve grew up in Kingsville. That's number one. Number two is Richmond. Steve started his career in Richmond. I started my TV career in Richmond. Number three, our mentor. We have a shared mentor in the great Randy Blair.
Oh, yeah.
And we're always going to have those three touchstones, I think.
Well, let me tell you, Randy Blair can bring a tear to my eye. That guy, when I was at Towson State, we called it then, Towson University now. The radio station there, the campus station, WCVT, we just kept flipping over interns. One person would do it, and then another. We kept it in the family, and Randy really liked the kids from Towson. And Randy was, you had to work for Randy. This wasn't I'm going to get you coffee and prop my feet up and watch the game, which was good because you learned. And Randy was a true pro. And when he passed and that game, he died playing basketball for Channel 13. It was devastated kids at Towson University. I can tell you that because he was so good to so many of us. And I've gotten to know his son a little bit. I know you have too.
Yeah, Billy's great.
Billy, I've seen Billy, and I got to tell Billy's daughter the name Blair means something in this town.
It does,
and that meant something for me to tell her. You should know your dad and your granddad. They mean something to us here.
Every once in a while, I'll go out and visit his grave, and I'll have a little talk with him. I'll tell him.
Where is it?
It's out in Marriottsville.
Okay.
Off of Marriottsville Road. I can tell you exactly. I don't want to do it on the air, people. But I always take a light beer and pour it out for him. Because Randy loved his light beer, as you probably know. And it's just great that we share that. And I tell you, there's a third member too, Keith Mills.
Keith, yes.
Yeah. So the three of us, that's great. And he means the world to me.
My gosh, absolutely.
When he passed away, I'm in Mobile, Alabama, 1,000 miles away, and broke. And I knew I couldn't come, and all I could do was just kind of feel bad. So when I came here, I had been offered a job in Orlando, and I had to decide between Orlando and Baltimore. Ordinarily, it'd be an easy decision, but no. I wanted to come here because I wanted to find Marge and Billy, and it took till the advent of Facebook for me to find them, but I did find them, so we're good to go. And then I was also very fortunate because when I left Richmond to go to Mobile, Alabama, I worked under Jack Dries, the Jack Dries.
Wow.
And I was like a unfinished cabinet, and he was the sandpaper. It was falling from one mentor to another like that. It was like Brer Rabbit falling in the briar patch.
Well, two men helped me get my first job when I went to WFMD in Frederick in 1983. Bob Bartell, who has since passed as well. That was a mentor of mine, WCAO back in the day. I just worshiped Bob and got to know his family. And Bob and I drove together to watch Brooks be inducted in Cooperstown.
Yeah.
That's how long ago I started in the business. I was a young kid just going and drove up with Bob Bartell and Randy Blair. Those two men, they called WFMD and said, "This is your guy. This is the guy for you." And I was lucky enough to get that job and then later move on to Richmond and finally get to Baltimore, where I've been here a few years now. I'm getting used to the place, and it's my home.
What year did you come here?
I came here in the late 90s to work at another station on the AM dial.
Yeah, big station.
Big station at the time was #1 station in town, and got to be the sports director of and host that 6 o'clock show. Man, that was a big deal for me. I finally had arrived where I always wanted to be. And I was doing broadcasts, Oriole talk shows at Camden Yards.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to pinch myself.
Yeah. So combined, we're probably looking at around 50 years, maybe.
We got a few years of experience.
But we'll still make mistakes, folks.
We always do.
All right,
we just don't take them as hard as we used to.
Let's start out with last night. The tantalizing thing about this Oriole club is every once in a while they'll play like that and get you excited again. You know, I'm almost afraid to watch them again tonight.
Well, that was a throwback game for Gunnar Henderson. That was not a 2024 Gunnar version when he was fourth in the American League MVP. That's what he can be. He was even good on defense last night.
Yeah.
He was making plays all over the field at shortstop. So that was special to see, and it was nice that they didn't blow it because it looked like they were gonna. But Bruce, it's just they teased us by, for instance, the Orioles are now won their last 4 against the Rays. The last time they played the Yankees, they won that series. When they played the Dodgers, they won that series.
Yeah.
So they do this, showing us the potential, and it never holds. You know, it's just so on brand for the year they've had that they lost to the Twins, they lost to the Rangers, and they go into Tampa and end their winning streak.
Crazy.
Yep.
Makes no sense at all. Also, the big news, aside from the Orioles, is that we got Ravens football tonight for the first time since February. The Ravens going to take on the Eagles. Don't expect to know anybody on the field at any time, based on what I've heard. That everybody's sitting tonight. But the interesting thing about it, though, is maybe some young guy will pop up that you don't really know much about, and that's why it's worth watching preseason football games.
Well, it is, and we'll be watching the coaches as much as the players tonight because it'll be interesting to see just the demeanor of Jesse Minter, Declan Doyle. Is he going to be on the field or up? Or he's still doing both, isn't he?
I haven't heard.
Right.
I
think he's going to try both and sort it out.
Okay. All right. Weaver, I could see being upstairs because he's in such Anthony Weaver's in such a particular, being an defensive coordinator, but your head coach is calling the plays. I would think Weave would be best upstairs.
Might be. And how the defense improves this year obviously is going to be a huge, thing for the year. And Minter's obviously going to have a lot to say about that. So I mean, they're still in the honeymoon phase, but they're doing a lot right. I mean, it feels like the players love them, the fans love them. Everybody is impressed by what they've done and what they brought to the team from the first press conference for Minter. And so it'll be nice to see a game. It doesn't matter much, and whether they win or lose doesn't matter, and who's the star
They'll have
matters.
the purple shirts on down there, and they'll be playing football.
Exactly. And people will get to be back at the M&T Bank Stadium, so that'll be cool.
M&T opened a year after FedEx, or what Northwest Stadium now it's called. FedEx was financed 100% by Jack Kent Cooke. He wanted to sit in it before he died, and they worked around the clock to get that finished for him. That's private money. M&T was built with public money. If you look at the condition of the two stadiums today, it tells you the difference in private money and public money.
Well, big plus for the Orioles and the Ravens to get that money through the state here the last few years and make upgrades. And that's even filtered down to the minor leagues. And I can tell you the Oriole minor league teams have facilities that other minor league teams don't have. And so this state money has been a real boon to all these teams in various ways.
And it's controversial. It's a giveaway, sure. But the tax revenue that's returned, from those teams being in this city and playing the games and the overtime they pay the police officers and all of that, it's more than worth it. I tell people from out of town the ingenious way that they funded those stadiums. A lot of re-scratch-offs. It's a small enough state. There's only one major city. You couldn't do it in Pennsylvania or California or any place, Texas.
Right.
Maryland got its S together enough to find, and they paid cash for both those stadiums.
Yes.
It's brilliant.
Well, as a kid, man, I would practically like say I was raised in Memorial Stadium practically because I went there so much watching the Orioles. And when they moved to Camden Yards, initially it was like, am I going to like this? This is my home. Memorial Stadium is home. But I was there for that first game against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cliff pitched that great game. Came up from Richmond to cover it, got a press pass, walked out on the field and said, holy heck, look at this. This could work. And so it's worked out beautifully. And obviously, we had to wait too long to get a team, and we had to steal another city's team. But a right was wrong because the NFL screwed that up when we did everything right to get an expansion team, and they messed that up.
Geography screwed us. That's what happened. They looked at secondary markets, in Richmond.
To this day, it's obviously clear Jacksonville was not the choice.
No. But that would be the first team to go to Europe. At Khan that owns it, he's not American. I mean, I don't think he has any great ties to Jacksonville, right. And he's the richest man, one of the richest men in the world. He's got the worldwide patent on the seamless bumper for cars. Remember how bumpers used to be silver and made out of chrome and everything, and they're not anymore? That's because of his worldwide patent.
Well, you remember the game? I know you were there. Give Baltimore the ball game.
Oh, yeah.
When they brought, it was the Dolphins and the Saints, maybe?
Yes, that's exactly
and they gave,
Mackey.
Mackey got his ring.
Yeah.
Wouldn't get anywhere else but Baltimore.
Right.
So we love John Mackey for a million reasons.
Well,
that's at the top of the list.
Matty told me this. This wasn't widely known, but Mackey lobbied the NFL real hard to give it to him at the Pro Bowl. He wanted a debt-free trip to Hawaii,
Well, but the story for me for that night is this very company a couple of owners ago broadcast the game with Scott Garceau and Maddie,
right?
And I was the producer because my company, Capital Broadcasting, in Richmond, owned the stations up here and did the game. And they wanted me to come. They said, would you like to be a part of that Baltimore Yeah, I think so. And one time they're talking about me calling the play-by-play. I'm like, no way. But, obviously they got a great guy in Scott and Tom. They did a great broadcast. And
it was before you got here, but I was with them the first 2 years. It was a three-man booth that first year. And it was funny because Garceau had two rules, mostly Maddie-centered. One was no drinks on the table because Maddie was famous for
knocking him over.
And the other one was raise your hand if you have something to say. It'll just make the traffic a lot easier to go. And
yes.
So I would, and I looked over at Maddie, and he's like that kid in the first grade. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I would laugh throughout the entire game. It was great.
But I mean, that's old school broadcasting where you have mic discipline, you don't talk over each other, and you respect your other broadcasters.
One quick Memorial Stadium, and then we got to go to break. I called, as you know, the Stallions for 2 years in there, and the football press box was down the third baseline. It's not the big one behind home plate, but it's down the third baseline. And the broadcast booth down there was very narrow and 2 levels with stairs on this side. First level's for the announcers, second level's for the engineer and the gear. Above the steps you had to climb up was a drain pipe. Big old cast iron drain pipe. I called 50 football games in that stadium, in that booth. And I guarantee you, I smashed my head on that drain pipe 50 times. So they're tearing it down. And I don't mean but my head, I mean, that kind. I had a concussion every game I called. So they're tearing it down. John Zeman, who I know you know, is coordinating with the Babe Ruth Museum. And he says, is there anything you want? And I told him about the drain pipe.
Get rid of that thing.
They couldn't find it. I was living in Kingsville at the time. I was going to put it in my backyard and watch it rust.
You were on the mic the night. I remember this. I was there. They were at halftime. They were filming scenes for that movie.
Yeah.
And you were the guy saying, "Now act surprised."
Yeah.
to the whole crowd.
What the Keanu Reeves movie?
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what?
The Replacements, was that it?
The Replacement didn't give me a T-shirt
or anything,
on,
man.
And then a couple years later, I pop up on The Wire. I didn't get anything for that either. He was like, well, those royalties must be. I'm like, what royalties? Shoot. All right, hey, we're going to open the phones. I want you to make my new partner feel very welcome. Tony in Rosedale's at the top of the list. Give us a call, 410-583-1057.
Big Bad Morning Show. Vinny and Haynie, 3 deep. Live on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 6 till 6. Search 105.7 The Fan, Baltimore. And never miss a moment of coverage on the teams you love.
This Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., it's the 12-hour sale event at Ashley. Save up to 70% store-wide, plus enjoy free delivery. Plus, we're giving away prizes every hour. Big savings, big giveaways, and one big day to shop. Don't miss the 12-hour sale this Saturday at Ashley.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Woohoo! Go payment free this summer. It's the Honda Summer Event at Anderson Honda Hunt Valley. That's right. No payments for 90 days on the Hondas you want, like Ridgelines, Prologue EVs, and Honda Civics. That's acres of brand new Hondas, now sell priced way below MSRP, including hybrids like Accords and even CRVs. Now that's smiles for miles. It's the Honda Summer Event at Anderson Honda Hunt Valley, 10139 York Road, or check out AndersonHonda.net. No payments for 90 days. Must finance with approved credit through AHFC.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage, roadside assistance for breakdowns, bill negotiation to help lower your bills, identity theft aid for peace of mind, and you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
The great Marvin Gaye. Welcome back. And welcome again to my new partner, Steve Molesky. You will hear the two of us every Saturday, or at least most Saturdays, between noon and 3. Happy to have him. Let's go to the phones. Tony in Rosedale. Say hey to Steve.
Hey, Steve. Remember me?
I do. How you doing, Tony?
I'm good. Opening day, gave you my phone, showed you stats, and asked you why Gary Sheffield is not in the Hall of Fame.
You did, and I vote for the Hall of Fame now, so you put me on the spot.
Congratulations, and you guys bringing up Randy Blair and them guys. I'm going to bring up my background, who I consider the founding forefather of Baltimore sports, especially for me in baseball, Stan the Fan.
Yeah.
I don't know how's he doing now.
Yeah.
Stan okay?
He's fine. He's got that press box newspaper
Press
thing
box,
going.
yep.
And Glenn Clark works for him doing press box radio.
Stan's still going strong, man. He's at a lot of Oriole games in the press box. I see him often.
Okay, yeah, that's who got me to calling these things back in the 80s. He had a late-night show called All About Baseball. It ran past midnight. Anyway, I want to talk about the Orioles.
Yeah.
Last night, an interesting move to put Pete Alonso at the top of the lineup. I mean, what kind of message is that? I mean, Kyle Schwarber, it works well for him. What kind of message is that sending to the team by leading off with Pete Alonso, you guys think?
I don't think he's trying to send any message. I think he's just trying to win. And I think the message is they've struggled all year to find anything that works against left-handed pitching with any consistency. And, Tony, it's almost like they're throwing darts now.
Right.
And so, Pete, here's the way I look at it.
I like that.
You're going to bat 9 guys times 3 every game, and more than that. So that's 27 at-bats, whether you hit him first, 9th, or whatever. And you're certainly not going to hit him 9th, but you just got to get something going. So it didn't bother me that he was hitting first.
It didn't bother me, but it's like he's waving the white flag at, any kind of small ball guy, get on base and move the run or whatever. Just go up there and swing as hard as you can and see what happens. I want to move on to the Ravens tonight, first preseason game. I've been a PSO and season ticket holder.
I know.
Since the
beginning. You have.
Bruce, I don't know who this president has been talking to, but he said he talked to fans and he gave them what they wanted with these upgraded lounges and eating areas. He didn't talk to me because me and people that I talked to want a retractable dome with that money instead of...
By law, we've had this talk. By law, they can't do it. They can't. The legislature called for an open-air stadium.
What, retractable? They couldn't do that?
It depends on how they want to define open air, but that's what the law states in Maryland. That's what they have to do.
Okay, because end of the day, we want winning football. We look at Jerry's World and the Raiders.
No, everybody would love to have a dome, but it ain't going to happen here. It's not.
How much winning is in those stadiums of all these lavish upgrades or whatever?
A lot. My problem, Tony, with the upgrades is that the upgrades of what I've seen, the rich folks are going to benefit from those. I didn't see them do a lot for the sidewalk level fans in those renovations.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, anyway, we're going to enjoy it.
All right, Tony.
We'll see what the season brings.
Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Let's go to Warren in Owings Mills. Warren, say hello to Steve Molesky.
Yeah, afternoon. That's why I wanted to call in. I've enjoyed him when he's been guest on your show and some of the other shows. So welcome, Steve. You got big shoes to fill.
I know, I do, for sure. I got small feet, so this is going to be a challenge.
Well, Femi's like a size 13. So.
Oh, no.
As you know, you have a great partner because I listened to the show, to the Saturday show. I listened to most of the shows, but I listened to it and called it a few times. But when I bent Bruce's ear for like 45 minutes at the anniversary this spring, I think I've called him pretty much every week since then. So I'm glad to have you. Real quick, I don't want to talk Orioles because unless some miracle they make the playoffs, while I'm a huge lifelong fan, I've given up on them. But I'm going to the Ravens game tonight, and I'm really looking forward to this year with a lot of new stuff. And Bruce, I heard yesterday, I think Femi and Barbalace were on because Ken wasn't there, but they said that the Doyle is going to start in the box this week, and then he's going to be on the field next week to see which one he likes best.
Okay.
I think they said that yesterday, and they thought Weaver was going to be on the sideline, but they hadn't really determined it. And then finally, I'm not, I've been going to Ravens games since they've been here. I'm not a fan of a retractable roof. I like open air stadiums. It's not like we're playing in Minnesota or Green Bay where we're sitting out there in minus 10 or 15 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm an old school football fan. I don't like domes. I don't like the retractable stuff.
In Buffalo, the original plan was that new stadium was going to have a dome, and there was like a fan revolt.
Yeah, and I could see why, because I think it gives them an advantage.
It sure does.
When Miami or some of these dome teams come there in December. But no, I like it, and I'm familiar with the legislation of that because one of my best friends was the legislative assistant for both Schaefer and Glendenning. So he was involved in the the whole finance.
The words open air are in there, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So I knew that. So in any event, great talking to you guys.
All right, Warren.
And look forward to listening to the show.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. I really do. All right, coming up, we got a real treat for you. By the way, Dave and Mike, stay right where you are. We'll get to you. But coming up next, Rich Dubroff's going to join us, BaltimoreBaseball.com. I go back a long way with him. Steve goes back a long way with him. We're going to get deep on the orange and black next. Stick around.
If you're thinking about it
every day,
we're talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
105.7 The Fan.
Hey, it's Rob Long for Elephant in the Room, my go-to place for the Nashville hot chicken tacos, the burnt ends, the deviled eggs, and when I really want to sit down for a meal, I get the steak. It is tremendous. Elephant in the Room is the place to go, as you know, for the orange and black, but just around the corner is football, and they also are your place to go for the men in purple. Just over there on Veterans Highway in Millersville, also go to eatdrinkelephant.com and check out the menu. Tell them Rob Long sent you.
That's Elena's family group chat. It never stops. Someone's always sending a blessing
or starting a poll about the baby shower theme at midnight.
With Real Unlimited from Total Wireless, she's always in the loop, whether she wants to be or not. Switch to Total Wireless Total Starter Plan or higher and get a Samsung Galaxy A16 5G on us. Total Wireless, your own Real Unlimited. Offer ends 11/4/2026 or while supplies last. Devices, taxes, and fees may apply.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life, and you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech, plus gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. No application fee if you apply by September 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers. And someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money. And most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and save thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Hey, welcome back, Bruce Cunningham Show. As we settle into our new roles here, you're going to find that happens quite a bit. We were just lost in conversation. Oh, by the way, the show's back on. Joining us now, somebody that knows my partner very, very well. Rich Dubroff, I couldn't even tell you that Steve Molesky was going to join us. It was that big a secret, but welcome in. We're glad you're here.
Well, I'm delighted. I just found out from Aaron that Steve is part of the show, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, Steve, I'm going to give you the honor.
Well, yeah, I've known Rich a few years. I should ask a first question, something about Brooklyn, but I'll skip that and go right to the Orioles. So, Rich, how do you rank that win last night?
Well, I thought that the win was very, very, very important to the Orioles, and of course Henderson having 4 hits, and all season long we've been waiting for Gunnar Henderson to get started. And Tuesday in Minnesota, he gets 3 hits, and you think, well, maybe he's getting started, and then 0 for 3 on Wednesday, but with 2 walks. And then last night, 4 hits. And maybe this is it. Maybe this is finally the time that Orioles fans have been waiting for. But he's still only hitting 221, and he hasn't hit over 230 since April. So this has been just a horrible year for him, and that was sort of my main takeaway from last night. And also the interesting part, having Alonso bat leadoff and Gunnar Henderson batting 5th.
There was a statistical reason for him being there in the leadoff spot last night.
Well, yeah, they used an opener in Steven Matz, and then that was he's the strongest hitter the Orioles have. I mean, things have changed in baseball since you, Bruce, and Steve, and I started watching it. There used to be lots of times light hitting, fast guys.
Yeah.
Who led off, and that's a thing of the past. Now, it's the best hitter lots of times who leads off. I remember when Nick Markakis led off some for the Orioles, and Adam Jones led off some for the Orioles. So times have changed, and I don't think Alonso is going to hit on top of the order forever, but maybe again tonight, since the left-hander's starting for the Rays.
The great broadcaster Harry Callis in Philadelphia for years. When I was thinking about Cam Sanders last night, and the phrase came to me, out of cold storage, They stuck him in, he responded, didn't he?
Well, he did, and it was just it was interesting because nobody really knew who he was, and he had those 2 great games in Houston, and then he went back down to the minor leagues, and now he comes back up, and there's no closer on the team now. It's very interesting. There's a closer of the day. Is it Rico Garcia? Is it Cano? Is it Kittredge? It's been Wolfram too. So Cam Sanders got another shot yesterday, and he's certainly done well.
Yeah, he's kind of come out of nowhere. I mean, obviously doesn't have great stats this year in a limited role, but he's certainly been good for the Orioles. And an unsung hero, I thought last night, Rich, was Chris Bassett. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
It had been a long time since we saw this guy, and I mean, he looked rejuvenated with health first, and then obviously had 3 pretty good rehab starts, and he was ready to go.
Right, you are, Steve. He really looked. He really looked good, and to have him as a 5th starter really solidifies that rotation. The rotation has, as we all know, has done well for the past couple of months, and if they want to do something in these last 6 weeks, they're going to continue to need that rotation to be strong, and Bassett could be a good part of that.
I know that they have to say this when the media asks, but it seems like this club is still dialed in. They're still bought into the fact that they may be playing in the postseason. Do you get that same feeling?
Sure. I was wondering today because I'm looking, and there are 6 clubs within a game and a half or 2 games of the wild card, and they're all under 500. So there is a chance that a team is going to be in the wild card and not be 500. I don't think that's something to celebrate, but if they somehow, the Orioles finished 80 and 82 and happen to be in the wild card, happen to be the 3rd wild card, I guess it would be something to celebrate. But I think that realistically, yes, somebody's going to get hot. That's what you think. Well, of those 6 teams, one of those teams or 2 of those teams are going to get hot in the last 6 weeks. I mean, it happened to Boston, where Boston went on a 21-4 tear in July. So why not another team? And for the Orioles, this next stretch is obviously really tough. Everybody's been talking about it. Playing 9 more games with the Rays, the Yankees, and the Rays again. But then after that, the schedule isn't so tough. They have a 9-game trip to St. Louis and Sacramento and Colorado, and those games, those games should be winnable for them. They have a few, contenders that they're playing down the stretch, but I think that if they can get through, these next 9 games and not fall too much farther, where they are from where they are, I think that they'll be in decent shape. There's certainly things to be troubled about. They haven't been swept since they last played in Tampa Bay, and that's really good. But other than that 7-game winning streak, they haven't gone on a tear.
Yeah.
They've lost a lot of 2 out of 3s when they need to be winning 2 out of 3s. They lost those 2 out of 3 in Texas. They lost 2 out of 3 in Minnesota, and that's the time you want to be winning those 2 out of 3s. So they've had so many opportunities that they've frittered away, but so is everybody else, and it's really it's really strange. But these last 6 weeks could be a lot of fun.
I mentioned to Steve earlier. Remember the '73 Mets? Remember they went to the World and they were barely over 500 themselves, weren't they? I remember that pretty well.
I was there.
Were you?
Actually, not the World Series. I actually went to 2 of the. Those were the first 2 playoff games I ever went to. When Bud Harrelson and Pete Rose went at it, and also I was there for the 5th game. My father wouldn't let me cut class from college for the 4th game.
No.
But no, it was that year the Mets just got really hot at the end, and they finished 3 games. They finished 3 games over 500, and then they only had to play one series to get to the World Series, and they went to the 7th game. So yeah, strange stuff can happen. But I think from where the Orioles started the season and, where they were in mid-May, if they somehow got to be a wild card, at least, that's something to hang your hat on. I mean, it's not to be celebrated. You certainly want them, you certainly want to see them win at least one playoff round, at least the wild card round, because they hadn't won a single game in 23 and 24. So at least if you could, get past the wild card round and at least into the division, then it's something to build on.
Well, you hit on the difficult part, I think, for the Orioles here. Being 1 game out, yeah, that sounds great. Wow, they're only 1 game out. Well, there are 6 teams within a game and a half of that spot, currently held by Detroit at, believe it or not, 60 and 62. So that, to me, Rich, is the bigger challenge. You're going to have to be better than 6 teams the rest of the way. And if one of those 6 goes on a 15-5 run, that, you're
done.
You're done. So that, to me, is a bigger challenge than the 1 game out part.
Sure. In fact, if you look at the FanGraphs odds, I think I looked at them today. They were 15 or 17%, and I think that's probably realistic because they're taking that into account. Because one of those teams is probably going to get hot, and the Orioles are thinking, why not us? But one of the things I'm thinking about, and we haven't heard anything about this, is Felix Bautista going to be around to help the team for the last few weeks?
Yeah, I'm hearing some of that too. Will he be back?
Well, I guess so, because he's still throwing bullpens, but he hasn't gone on a rehab assignment yet.
Right.
And yes, they get an extra spot on September 1st. They can add 1 player and 1 pitcher, and the player will probably be Blaze Alexander. And it would be nice if they could add Felix Bautista, but he needs to go on a rehab assignment first. But that would solve a healthy Felix Bautista would be a big plus for them, even if they get him for the last 3 weeks of the season. What do you think, Steve?
No doubt. Now, and unlike a guy who's on a 15-day or 10-day IL, it's been a long time, so he's probably going to need more than 2 or 3 outings. So if you start looking at the calendar, it gets challenging. But even Rich, if they had Felix Bautista at 80% of his previous self for the final 2 or 3 weeks, and then if they make October, I mean, that would be a big lift to this team. He, as you know, just when he walks in the clubhouse, he makes a difference. He's so well liked in there, and he's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and then what's funny? As soon as he gets on the 26-man roster, he becomes the senior Oriole. He'll be the Oriole that's been with the team longer than anybody else. Right now, it's Kyle Bradish, who came up a few weeks into the 22 season. But once Batista comes in, he's the senior Oriole.
Wow! That it's like that. I read in a book one time that should tell you something, but I don't know what.
Exactly.
It would be good to have him back, though, and especially if they are serious about this run. It seems like they are, but Rich, it's so unpredictable with this club. You just don't know. And they're setting us up for heartbreak, or maybe we should give our full. I don't know. It's just hard for me.
Well, yeah, because they haven't played consistent ball.
Right.
If they had played consistent ball, other than that 7-game winning streak, they haven't played, well for an extended period of time. So until they do, then I understand that people aren't buying what they're selling.
Bradish tonight. He has been pretty consistently good over the past month or so. Wasn't that great last time out? He's looking better to come back tonight.
Yeah, Bradish is, Bradish has been, I think, really, really good. I know Brandon Young's got some great stats, and they couldn't have been where they are without Brandon Young. But I think Bradish is sort of. You'd think he's the number one starter right now, between him and Trevor Rogers. But I think that he'll do well. He one thing about Bradish is he doesn't seem to be terribly disconcerted by his environment. He's really he's really kind of cool and doesn't is not very emotional. So I think he'll do pretty well.
All right, Rich. I appreciate your time, as always. You can read everything Rich writes at BaltimoreBaseball.com and the occasional Peter Schmuck column as well, which is well worth the price of admission, which is free. So, Rich, again, thank you. We'll talk again next week.
Okay, my pleasure, and congratulations. I am delighted about this new team. Having two old friends together couldn't make me happier.
That makes us happy too.
Thank God he didn't stop at too old.
In my case, it would be true.
Mine too.
Yeah. The funny thing with Rich, when Femi first joined me, Femi is not much of a Major League Baseball fan, but Femi's brilliant, and he threw himself into it, and he's very stat driven. And he started talking. The young pitcher with the beard, who's having a great year and nobody saw it coming. Why am I blanking?
Brandon Young?
Yeah. He latched on to Brandon Young. And every time Rich came on, Femi had like 3 or 4 Brandon Young questions to ask him. And that would usually be
he's been as good as anybody they got.
Yeah, it's been a pleasant surprise. Everybody in baseball is looking for pitching. And the Orioles have plenty of pitching. And the super offense they put together in the offseason just never showed up. It's weird.
I mean, we went into the season thinking bullpen and defense was going to come up short. Defense certainly has. Bullpen got off to a great start. Now it's been a mixed bag, injuries, some inconsistencies. They're just piecing it together. I mean, it feels like they're going to limp to the finish, and they might cross the finish line a half game ahead of somebody else. And just get in would be a bonus after this rough summer. And so it's just nice to be in contention, even if it's mostly has to do with the league being bad rather than the Orioles being good.
Hey, you can't control that. And I'm stealing your line, by the way. They're throwing darts. I love that. I'm sitting here not even talking and laughing to myself. All right, coming up, we're going to open the phones back up. We got a lot of you that want to talk, so give us a call, 410-583-1057.
The teams you grew up with
Ravens are world champions.
are the ones you still love today. 105.7 The Fan.
Are you a can kicker / procrastinator? Here's the deal with can kickers. One day that can could be a bucket, and that's not something you want to kick. When it comes to life insurance, you can't procrastinate another day, because today is the day to call Big Lou. If you're 50 to 60, maybe a little porky, on meds or type 2 diabetes, you may qualify. Big Lou specializes in people with real-life health glitches because everyone's got one, or two. Then Big Lou knows how to tip the scales in your favor. A $1 million term life policy may only cost about $200 a month, depending on age, health, and the policy you choose. Remember, Big Lou's like you. But when it comes to a can, he spends more time sitting on one. For affordable term life insurance today, call Big Lou at 800-777-1979, 800-777-1979, or biglou.com. When it comes to life insurance, don't kick the can. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979 or biglou.com.
This Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., it's the 12-hour sale event at Ashley. Save up to 70% store-wide, plus enjoy free delivery. Plus, we're giving away prizes every hour. Big savings, big giveaways, and one big day to shop. Don't miss the 12-hour sale this Saturday at Ashley.
Football is back. Make sure you head down to the Bet River Sportsbook at Bingo World, the best place to catch all your college and professional football games this season. With over 20 TVs, comfortable lounge chairs, pool tables, great happy hour specials, and wall-to-wall football action, there's no better place to spend your football weekends. Grab your friends, catch every game, and get in on the excitement all season long. Check out BingoWorld.com for details. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 or over. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Is there anything Albert, my AI financial assistant, can't do? Albert, can you create a financial plan just for me?
Yes. I've reviewed your accounts, income, and spending. Here's your plan and a few suggestions.
Great. Any savings I'm missing out on?
I reorganized your budget and found an extra $500 this month. Would you like me to transfer that to your savings?
Sure.
Done.
Oh, I'm thinking about moving. Can you get me more cash?
Albert can get you a loan up to $10,000 fast. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect. Looks like Albert really can do everything.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GAIN to try Genius, your AI financial assistant, and get up to $10,000. Just download the Albert app and use promo code GAIN to try Genius and get up to $10,000. Promo code GAIN.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
That's one of our anthems, Steve. That is St. Paul and the Broken Bones out of Birmingham, Alabama, rebirthing Blue-Eyed Soul. And I just can't hear that enough, I'm telling you. 410-583.
You got great taste in music.
Well, if you like my music, that means you're getting old, too.
Well, I mean, can't avoid that, I guess.
No, but I like the horns playing. I like beach music and all that.
I like to say we're experienced, not old. I think it sounds much better.
I did that when I was your age, but now I'm just old.
I love somebody just said when I was your age. Got to hear more of that.
Yeah, right. Let's go.
Back when I was a kid like you.
Let's go to Dave. You are a kid to me. Dave in Hartford County, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Hey, I'm old with you, Bruce and Steve. It's good to hear you again. I'm Baltimore born and raised. And you know what? All these new stadiums and fancy stadiums. But, boy, the memories of Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
That's the state of me. Real quick, okay. In 77, the Reds and Dodgers were fighting it out. I was a big Red Machine fan.
Okay.
I fly to Cincinnati. I could not get a hotel room.
Wow.
And I had to stay at the YMCA. The next day, you'll see the point of this since you're a music guy, Bruce. The next day, I watched the Reds play. All right. After the game, I'm walking around the stadium, and I hear batting practice. It's Pete Rose taking batting practice again after the game.
Wow.
But I asked somebody, why couldn't I get a hotel in Cincinnati? He points to the arena and said, you know who was there last night? I said, no. He goes, Elvis Presley.
Whoa.
49 years ago tomorrow is his birthday. If I'd have known he was going to die in 6 weeks, I'd have gone to see him. But he's 42. But anyway, Elvis Presley had an impact on my life in other ways besides music so forth. I love your music. Hey, guys, it's great being old.
Thanks. It beats the alternative, doesn't it, Dave? My dad lived till he was 94, Steve, and people would come up and they'd say, "Good to see you," and he'd always say the same thing: "I'd rather be seen than viewed." You know?
Oh man,
he was in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Wow.
And, he used to tell people that his record is 1-1-1. You know, it's his famous line. Let's go to Mike in Essex. Mike, what's up?
Hey, Bruce.
Hey.
Steve. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thank you very much.
I got a question. I got a couple of things. First of all, with the Orioles, is Abrams a free agent this next year?
Who?
Abrams of the shortstop for Nationals.
Oh, that I don't know.
I don't know.
Gotta
either.
look up.
Yeah.
I thought they said he was going to be a free agent. I'd like to see the Orioles try to get him and put him at short and move Gunnar over to third and let Mayo go. I think that would be a good signing.
You know, they're up to their ears in shortstops. You know, they really are.
Yeah, but Abrams, he's got speed. He gets on the base. He's reliable.
Yeah,
he's got.
He's not a free agent until the end of 2028.
2028. Okay,
Right.
I thought they said something about he might be a free agent.
Yeah, 3 more years to go, counting this one. 2 after this.
Okay, second thing. All
right.
I got 3 things. The second thing about Adley, can we still sign him next year?
At the end of next year, if he goes free agent.
Yeah.
Okay, because I tell you what, we need a catcher bad. We need a catcher that can hit.
Well, they got Basayo,
wait,
but
they
he
got
just
one.
can't stay on the field, you know?
Yeah, but the problem is he's 21. You think he'd heal a lot quicker.
You'd
I'll be
like to
69
think.
years old, and I think I heal faster than he does. And he's 21 years old.
I mean, when you got inflammation in your shoulder, it takes
tough.
a while.
It's tough. All right, man.
And the third.
Go ahead,
third
Mike.
thing,
Let me hear
last
number
thing.
3. Go ahead.
This is the opinion. Well, if they ever get rid of the manager, why don't they consider Bordick as a manager? The guy's got a lot of knowledge.
I don't.
He seems like a player's. He seems like a player's manager.
All right, Mike. Thanks. We'll kick that around. But I don't think Bordick. I don't think he's ever been even a coach, has he?
He hasn't. He'd be a great one.
Yeah.
He'd be a great one. I wondered over the years several times why. I think Bordy might have done a little bit in the Oriole minors, little projects here and there. I mean, the guy loves baseball. He bleeds orange and black, and he, you know, like in the minor leagues now, they're going back to the future. I just did a big interview on my Substack with Mike Schilt, the former Padres
I read
manager.
that. Yeah, that was interesting.
Oh man, Bruce, that was my most fun hour this year interviewing anybody in baseball. Sitting with Mike Schilt.
Yeah,
his passion came pouring through, and he and Cal, and I got to write a lot more about this in a couple days. They got some interesting stuff they're doing, and it's starting to take hold. You don't go into like the minor leagues and do a few things and have a fix it in a month thing. This takes months, maybe years. Sure. But you start to lay the groundwork for some things, and they're doing it. And he's a great baseball man. And I mean, if you have Cal Ripken, why don't you? The Orioles are finally using him a little more, and I think Cal always wanted that, is my guess. I don't speak for him, obviously, and not just be a figurehead. Someone to sell a bobblehead. Someone to actually make a difference.
Yeah.
And as Mike Schilt said, and he said, I'm not telling you a newsflash here. No one knows the game better. No one. He thinks 5 hours ahead of the rest of us. His mind works in baseball different than most humans.
I was here to be around Cal Sr. when he came back as a coach. I went to spring training a couple times and actually got to get up close to him. But I remember the thing he always said. He said, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And that was a large part of the Oriole way back then.
Well, Mike Schilt goes back with all these guys. There's a guy named George Kissel who was legendary in the St. Louis Cardinals for 60-some years. And he mentored Earl Weaver. He mentored Mike Schilt. He mentored Tony La Russa. He's a George Kissel disciple, Mike Schilt. So was Earl. And he mentioned Cal Sr. and how the Oriole way, that's where it began. And Cal, when he managed in the minors, he was a one-man band.
Yeah.
He drove the bus. He raked the fields.
Through BP?
He threw BP. He hit the fungos. There weren't other coaches. And Cal Sr. started something, and they're bringing it back in the minors. They call them red dot plays. Cal, there used to be a pitcher charting the game that was going on.
Right.
And when Cal would see a play that he wanted to note, he'd say, put a red dot by that. And that would remind him after the game. And it could be a great play or a bad play, where he'd bring a kid in and go, hey, remember when you backed up third? That's exactly what we want. You were right where you needed to be. Or it might be, hey, you weren't where you needed to be. Let's talk about that. And he called them red dot plays. So they're bringing back red dot plays, and they get Zoom calls every other week, and they bring all the minor league coaches together to discuss red dot plays. It's good and bad.
Hey.
They praise, hey, tell that kid that was great how he played that bunt defense. Or tell that kid that he needed to be here. And so they're cleaning up some things.
Yeah. If you're a Seinfeld fan, though, the red dot didn't work out too well for George.
What was that?
With
I don't remember.
The white sweater with the little red dot. We'll go into that later. Let's go to Mary. Mary in Parkville. What's going on, Mary?
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Steve, I have followed you.
How about?
I follow baseball. Love our Orioles, even though they're killing me this summer. But, Steve, Sportsline, I just loved you on the BAL. And I have looked for you since Masson did what they did, a disservice to the Orioles fans, letting you go. But I found you on Pigtown Sports, Steve on Baseball Podcast. I found you all over the place. And,
there you go. I
love
seem to be
hear
all
ya.
over the place these days, which, believe me, delights me.
You can find him right here
You know
from now
what?
on. You can find him
Well,
right here.
That's why I'm calling, because I am so excited to know that I can tune in and hear Bruce and Steve on Saturday. And one of the best things that you do, Steve, you follow the minors. You let us know what's going on down in the minors,
Yep.
and I love to know what the kids are doing.
Well, Steve is unsurpassed when it comes to minor league stuff, that's for sure. Mary, thanks for
Yeah.
calling. Thanks for calling. Steve, speaking of minor leagues, that's where I started, the Peninsula Pilots of the Carolina League.
Wow.
And they had baseball in Newport News there forever, but for 2 years, and I bet you didn't know this, 72 and 73, Montreal had their AAA team in there. They were
Really?
they were called the Peninsula Whips. And they would play a three-game interlocking series on the weekends with Tidewater and with Richmond. It was a fascinating setup.
Wow. Now, where was this physically at?
Where the minor league team plays to this day in Hampton, or Newport News, really. It's off Pembroke Avenue. It's War Memorial
So it wasn't
Stadium.
Met Park.
No. Met Park was built, but that was where the Tides were.
Right,
I'm talking
right.
about the Peninsula Whips,
Right. Closer to Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the Pilots eventually moved to Wilmington and became the Blue Rocks, and they went through the roof there. So, but that's kind of my legacy, and it taught me about closing the mic and things like that. Not leaving it open. So, okay, that's it for hour number one. I want to remind you. I'm not reminding you. I didn't even tell you yet. Next hour, my good friend John Telich, who's kind of like the me in Cleveland, retired, gray beard, long in the tooth, but still very much active in the Cleveland sports scene. We're going to talk about the Browns and the AFC North in general. That's coming up next hour. In the meantime, I got plenty of room for your calls. 410-583-1057.
What happens next happens here. Baltimore Sports Radio.
That ball is out of here.
105.7 The Fan.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Play more, win big, all summer long during Horseshoe Casino's 12th anniversary celebration. Enjoy 12 times rewards on Friday, August 21st, then join them on Saturday, August 22nd for your chance to win a $1,200 cash prize in their special anniversary drawing. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage, roadside assistance for breakdowns, bill negotiation to help lower your bills, identity theft aid for peace of mind, and you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
There will be an answer. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be.
You see, welcome back, first of all. I've created a monster, Steve, with young Aaron over there. I opened up this era of music, and now she's into this Aretha Franklin kick. She's got a version of Aretha singing Son of a Preacher Man, which I had never heard before. And this just now, Let It Be, I've never heard that before either. So,
wow.
Well done, Aaron. Well done indeed. 410-583-1057. My new partner, Steve Mileska. We talked about this before we went to break, but fill folks in about your Substack.
Well, this has been great for me, Bruce. When I left Masson in January of 2025, for a month, I worked with Rich at BaltimoreBaseball.com, but that was sort of a transition towards joining Substack, where it's independent media, and Substack has gotten very big for all kinds of content creators, I guess they call us. And I cover the Orioles there, steveonbaseball.substack.com. And if you just go over the last few weeks of my writing, I've really dove in headfirst to the trades, and I've written extensively about the pitchers they got from Boston, Anthony Ianson and Kyson Witherspoon.
Read them both.
I wrote about Michael Ferret, who might be next up from AAA to join the Orioles. I've written recently about JT Quinn, right-hander, who just got bumped to AA. And so I write about the Orioles often, and I write about the farm and the player development often. And I used to have a podcast here, but now that I'm doing Birdland Territory, another endeavor I got going, 3 times a week YouTube show with Brad Brock and Tim Barbalay, so The Fan. We have a great time doing that show. So then I do some work here at The Fan. I have my Substack. I have Birdland Territory. I work 7 days a week. I literally do. And I'm not complaining a bit because I love it, and it beats the alternative. And when I lost my job at Masson, I was wondering, do I go on or not? And the fans just were overwhelmingly kind of telling me, go on. We really like what you're doing. We want you to keep doing it. Find another outlet. So I did. Couple of them, 3 different outlets now, really.
Yeah.
And I love doing this. I love covering baseball. I have a passion for it. If I walked away from all of it, I'd spend 8 hours a day reading about the Orioles and watching highlights and stuff. So why not keep doing it? I still love going to minor league ballparks. So Steve on Baseball Substack is out there for all to check out. There actually is a paid element to this, and people support me with their paychecks.
Steve likes to eat.
I like to eat. Yeah. I very much like to eat. That's for sure. And
electricity. You like electricity.
electricity is
Yeah,
important,
yeah.
and paying the bills is important. But I'll tell you, people do support you with their dollars, and that's very flattering to me.
Yeah.
Because this is independent. This is a one-man band. I'm the editor. I'm the writer. I put the pictures in. You got to do it all.
Yeah.
You don't have the help.
Well, you know what, though? Let me jump in here. That's a good representation of what's happened in media now.
Yes.
Like when I was coming up, you had to convince somebody to hire you and give you a job and let you work. Now you can just start yourself. You got to be lucky. You got to know the steps to take, but it's doable now,
Well, the thing you have to do is you have to promote.
Yep.
And so that part I'm never comfortable with. I always enjoyed it when my company and my outlets promoted my work. Now I have to do it because if I don't, who will? No one. And so that's where having 31,000 Twitter followers comes in handy.
Yeah.
You put one article out and a lot of people access it. Substack is cutting to the chase. It's email marketing. People subscribe, give their email.
Right.
And then every day my story hits their inbox and boom, there it is. And so we get bombarded with emails today, but and I follow a lot of Substack, so I follow John Eisenberg. I pay for his site happily to support John. I have other people I pay for their site to support their work on Substack. It's independent media, and so it's really been heartwarming for me that this keeps growing and building. And I'm not getting rich at this, and I never expected to. But I'm doing what I love, and people are finding me, and people are supporting my work, and people pay me to work. And so, Oriole fans, Birdland, I'll never take that for granted, and I'll always think how special it is. And I always wanted to work in Baltimore, Bruce. It took me a long time to get here. It took you a little while to get here, but I think we both realized why we wanted to get here.
I tell you what, I stepped foot in here in this town, and I looked around. I was here about a week. And I looked around, I started meeting people. I said, man, I'm not going anywhere, and I ended up doing 31 years at
Yes,
Fox
you
45.
did. You did. And I respect your career greatly because to last 31 years at any job is a challenge.
I know.
To do it in the broadcasting business is a real challenge, and to do it in television might be the biggest challenge. So that just means
they watched me get old. That's what it means.
the viewers liked you, and they kept coming back to see what you were doing, and for 31 years they did.
Well, and I'm very grateful. In fact, I was at Jerry Sandusky's going away party. Fred Smith, who's one of the principals of Sinclair, that hired me in the first place. Fred's son is got Atlas Restaurant Group, but I just said to Fred, I said, thanks for the gig, man. He says, nobody's ever said that before. I said, you know what, though, for 31 years, because of you guys, I paid the mortgage and I paid tuition and I was able to live a life, and I just wanted to thank you. And he looked really taken aback by that. But I meant it. It was a family operation. And when I came to work there, they owned 3 stations. And Sinclair's now up around 200.
Wow.
Just shows the growth. It's been nuts. But no complaints from me. This is home. Always has been. I was a military kid. I never had a home. This is home. That's all I can say. Captain Kirk in Avenue. What's going on, man?
My man. Yes. Baltimore loves you madly. Trust me. Hey, you got a new tag team partner, Bruce.
Yes, sir.
Steve Oliski.
Yeah.
Did you see how he snuck in? Did you see how he snuck in the beautiful Bruce there? Do you know the story behind that, Steve?
It's got to do with wrestling.
I had a clip of a live shot I did with Hulk Hogan, and he latched onto that. He called me that like 10 times in the interview. It was like interviewing Jim Palmer. You had to think up one question, and then you could go take it.
No, it's great to hear you, Steve. I think I met you once. I'm a lifelong friend of Mike Popovic. So
yeah,
he was in the studio one time, and I think you guys were two passing ships. But always enjoy your stuff, man. And I'm glad that you're on here with Bruce.
Thank you very much. Me too.
And it's that much less I have to say for 3 hours. That's a blessing, believe me.
You're okay, Bruce. You had to hold it down pretty when Zeno was out.
Well, I did survive Zeno, and so, yeah, that toughened me up. That's like dropping me in a pickle jar with him, But he's a mess.
So the O's are still hanging around, and it'd be great if they make it, but, if for some reason they go on a losing streak here and start getting behind it, I really would like to see some of these young guys pop up and just to see what you have. It's going to be interesting off season. I'll get you guys' take, but I'm thinking like we potentially have a decent pitching staff, and some players pitchers that we just got in the trade that could pop up next season. So
yeah.
I'm not sure if we necessarily need to address starting pitching, but certainly the bullpen is
Well, when you look to next year, think about the possibility of a healthy Mountain and a healthy Helsley in the back end of your bullpen.
That's a lot better than now, for sure.
That's a lot better than now. It's just the guys that need to suck up some innings, and the relievers before you get to the closers. And then I still feel like we need an outfielder, and I don't know if that's necessarily in the minor league system. So,
yeah. All right, Kirk, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
A true center fielder would be a plus.
Well, outfield could be where they take this surplus of young pitching they have and make a deal this winter or go out via free agency. And, of course, we don't know how this winter is going to play out with the CBA and the labor. But it seems like they could use an outfielder who hopefully can play D and O, can be productive at bat and also make plays in the field to help them clean up their outfield defense. But their base of pitching for 2027 is off to a good start.
Yeah.
They know they've got a bunch of starters coming back. They might have a couple healthy bullpen pieces coming back. Then they supplement a little bit and look to add to the offense.
The one thing through this Mike Elias controversy, not really controversy, but there's a lot of people walking with torches, wanting his head on a pole. The one thing I want to say about Elias, though, in a positive way, is just about every move he made in the offseason was a pretty good move. The people he brought in, and signing the free agent and all of that. I was not disappointed with his offseason last year at all.
Well, they let us spend some money, and hopefully they're going to keep doing that. And so, they've got the resources to do what they want to do. So that's the good news. And so the trade deadlines the last 2 years have brought some young talent, which you fortified in the farm. And again, if you have a surplus of young pitching, that's currency that everybody wants in baseball.
Absolutely.
And you can get their attention. And by the way, Bruce, the guys they traded have really started poorly. Adley's 1 for 11 with 5 strikeouts for Boston, and the Red Sox are suddenly gone 1-6. And Taylor Ward in 8 games for Seattle is 5 for 32.
Wow.
That's 156. And in 8 games, he has 0 homers, RBIs, and walks. He hasn't walked in 8 games. I don't know what's going on over there.
That was a big mystery this year because, you're thinking they're bringing in him and Alonso. That's 70 home runs they're going to add to this lineup, and that home run stroke just never materialized.
He got hit in the hand early. I think that must have been a factor.
Yeah,
he kind of downplayed it a little bit. But so he's just never gotten going with the power bat. So right now that, early on he's struggling with the Mariners.
And if Adley's struggling, it's going to be okay because you know how forgiving those Boston fans are.
Oh, yeah, they'll be happy he goes 1 for 30.
All right, we're going to keep the phones open. They're pretty crowded. See, Steve brings in the calls. That's what it is. 410-583-1057. Steve in Edgewater's up next.
Wherever the Orioles season takes you.
Say goodbye to this ball.
Download the free Odyssey app and hear reactions to all the biggest moments. Download it today and search 1057 The Fan.
This Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., it's the 12-hour sale event at Ashley. Save up to 70% store-wide, plus enjoy free delivery. Plus, we're giving away prizes every hour. Big savings, big giveaways, and one big day to shop. Don't miss the 12-hour sale this Saturday at Ashley.
Hey, did you hear about Eric Sobel?
From Ace Law? You heard about him too?
Yeah. After my accident, I called Ace Law. Eric took my case, took everything out of my hands, and got me the compensation I deserved. Best decision I made.
I'm Eric Sobel, and when you've been injured, I'm your guy. I'll handle the insurance companies, find you the right doctor, manage all that paperwork, and fight for the compensation you deserve, so you can focus on getting better and getting back to life. Call Ace Law today. Call us at 8888 Ace Law and come up Aces.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each. $30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Oak Cliff Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
I say now, baby, have some mercy, please. Don't make me beg on a bended knees. Oh, please, mercy, 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 please. Have mercy on me. Mercy, 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 please.
Ba-ba-da. Okay, all right. That's great, Aaron. That you blindsided me with that one, and I want to hear the whole damn thing. So let's just call it off. 410-583-1057. Steve in Edgewater, what's on your mind?
Hey, Bruce.
Hey.
Always a good time with the music and everything. You're in the Dana. I'm down here in Edgewater. You know, on a different note, I've talked to you many, many, many times, and I met my wife in 1990, and there was a farm in Landover that I would go to, which now is where the Redskin
Stadium,
the Commodores. I married into the Wilson family, which owned this 2,000-acre farm since 1650, Lord Baltimore land grant. Which, when it got down to like 300 acres, I asked my father-in-law. I said, "What happened?" He said, "You give somebody a cow, give them a couple acres, you know." So, but yeah, and then as trickle down economics has come to it, you know, Jack and Cook tried to name it Row John after his son.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I tell you, if you go around the stadium, there's Joe Gibbs Way.
Yeah.
There's different, you know. So, but
the worst parking situation I've ever seen on a modern stadium, though. That they really dropped the ball on the parking situation down there.
It's not good. And I tell you, when you go to, I'm a realtor. I went with a lender, and it's the highest seats. If you fall, you're going all the way down. It's terrible.
And it's easy. I guess it's easy to connect metaphors to that. We've given the Redskins performance / Commanders since they moved in there, right?
Yeah,
but I tell you what, I said something to Steve earlier. The Northwest Stadium, isn't that what they call it now? Northwest? It was FedEx. That was built with private money. M&T was built the next year with public money. If you look at the two side by side, it tells you the difference in funding sources, doesn't it?
Well, he owns Wild World or the amusement park, and he also owns Johnny Rockets, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So, but closer to home,
Yes.
you and I, like I said, I never got to meet Maddie. I was a stone's throw but I still had the football with him signing it and this and that close to home. So I'm going back to home now.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Maddie always said if anybody doesn't have my autograph, they didn't try very hard. That was his famous line.
My mother was so excited that I was going to go meet him. My mother was so excited. It was amazing.
That's great.
So,
well, he and I worked in this exact time slot back in the day. We had that show, that weekly show. We did it for, like 10 years or something like that. And I got to the point I could tell his stories better than he could at that point.
That was an athlete.
Yeah, he could do it all.
Oh, my God.
That's for sure. Great to hear from you, Steve. Thanks. We appreciate it. Let's go to Blake in Owings Mills. Blake, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Steve?
I'm doing good. It's Bruce.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm sorry, Bruce.
Steve went down the hall for a minute. He'll be back.
Okay. Look, I want to know, personally, who do you think is the best baseball player that you've seen to not get into the Hall of Fame?
Ooh, that's a very, very good question. I'm gonna pull one from way back. He was a Pirate and then a Ranger. He won a batting title. Al Oliver. Remember Al Oliver? He was.
To be honest with you, no, because I'm 60.
Well, he was on those Pirate teams with Clemente and Stargell. He mashed so well. He played well in the '71 series when they beat the Orioles. But we could come up with 1,000 guys. Who's yours?
You don't really want. Well,
yeah.
Let's see. He's not going to get in, but Dwight Gooden. He's not going to get in.
Well, he's got numbers. And, that's an interesting thing. And Steve, when he comes back, we'll bring this up with him. But, he votes for the Hall of Fame. And those steroid guys, you're going to have to address that at some point. Do you know, I don't know if you did realize this, a lot of people don't, but Rafael Palmeiro, he was the fourth player in baseball history to top 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. That's after Aaron Mays and Eddie Murray. That's the level that he played at, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. They're going to have to address that at some point,
Well, I guess you guys can go ahead and kick it around and figure it out, because I have no idea what or how that's going to happen, but maybe you got a shot.
It'd be an interesting thing to take up with Steve. Blake, I got to move on, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it quite a bit. Let's go. Who's next? My man, Chef. What's going on, Chef?
Hey, what's up, Bruce? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling real good. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm good. Well, you said Steve is down the hall. I was trying to have a proposal for you, if that was fine.
What's that? Go ahead.
I'd like to ask for permission. So, man, I want to bring in Steve in the right way. I was wondering maybe not this next Saturday, but the following Saturday. Is it cool if I bring you and Steve a slab of ribs or something like that?
It would be beyond cool. It would be.
All right, cool. I got you. I just wanted to ask your permission. That's just the way I was reading.
Yeah, I've known Steve a long time, and Steve will say yes to ribs. Believe me, I promise you that. All right,
cool.
Thanks,
We'll do it. We'll do it. All right.
Stay in touch. We'll get it done. I appreciate it. Let's go. Is that Aaron? Is that Chris in Bel Air? Okay, Chris, how you doing?
Bruce, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. She left the S off your name, so I got ready to call you Cree. And I thought I better check.
It's okay. Bruce, I'm a teacher, and I'm going into my last year, and one of the things we say in education is how things have changed, and boy, the same way in sports media.
Yeah.
And I really want to plug Steve's Substack. It's outstanding.
It is.
And it's worth the $5-6 a month that people are contributing, and we have an obligation now to support media that we want to see published. And that's part of the deal. It's where you put your dollars.
It's more of a one-on-one thing than it used to be. It used to be you would listen to the commercials or whatever. Now you can you can directly contribute. And if you think it's worth it, and it gives the fan kind of a freedom of choice thing. It's unique and it's new, and I don't hate it,
I totally understand. And as a funny story, I'm in my last year of teaching, but in my second year of teaching, way back when, I had a elementary school student named Bud who wore the best Baltimore sports uniforms to class that I had ever seen.
Bud, huh?
And I thought, boy, this kid has got to have some sort of connection. And sure enough, he did. and what a humble kid and what a humble family.
Yeah.
So, Bruce,
Bud,
thanks so much. Have a good afternoon.
Hey, before you go, let me tell you a story since you brought up Bud. Bud's my son, by the way. I was living, I had a little domestic adjustment, and I had to get a little bachelor pad, and my next door neighbor, I'd lived there a couple of weeks, and she said, do you have a son named Bud? And I said, yeah. And she says, I taught him Spanish. And I said, really? Bud had moved to Miami, and he'd gone to work for Five Guys, and he told me, he says he's a manager down there. As soon as you hired an English speaker, they automatically became assistant manager. He said, man, I wish I'd have paid more attention in high school. So when she told me that, I gave her the whole story, and it was the biggest smile ever. And I said, that's teacher's revenge right there, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Chris, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Chris, excuse me. Excuse me, Chris.
Getting the Molesky coughs.
Chris just had something very nice things to say about your Substack.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much.
He's even
for
a
that.
cash customer, he said.
That is, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm coming over to take him to lunch.
We're going to make you rich. I'm going to tell you. All right, stick around, everybody. John Tellich, WJW Cleveland, longtime sportscaster, still dabbles in it, kind of like I do. We're going to get the lowdown on the Browns, who are playing right now. Stick around for that.
Big Bad Morning Show. Vinny and Haynie. 3 Deep. Live on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 6 till 6. Search 105.7 The Fan, Baltimore. And never miss a moment of coverage on the teams you love.
This weekend only at Old Navy, get 50% off sweatshirts and sweatpants for the family. Yep, 50% off sweatshirts and sweatpants for the fam. Hurry in this Saturday and Sunday to save big only at Old Navy. Valid 8/15 and 16, select styles only.
It's Old Navy, baby.
Popeye's $5 faves menu just keeps adding your faves. Next up, butterfly shrimp. They've got that bold Louisiana kick that makes them just as crave-worthy as the chicken side of the menu. Try 8 crunchy butterfly shrimp in classic or dusted in Popeye's series flavor seasonings. Head to your nearest Popeyes to get them now on our $5 faves menu. Love that chicken from Popeyes. At participating U.S. restaurants, price may vary, tax extra.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-777-1979, 800-777-1979, or biglou.com.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by September 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Plug-in Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offers end September 8th. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. That's Elena's family group chat. It never stops. Someone's always sending a blessing
or starting a poll about the baby shower theme at midnight.
With Real Unlimited from Total Wireless, she's always in the loop, whether she wants to be or not. Switch to Total Wireless Total Starter Plan or higher and get a Samsung Galaxy A16 5G on us. Total Wireless, your own Real Unlimited. Offer ends 11/4/2026 or while supplies last. Devices, taxes, and fees may apply.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Say, son, Papa was a rolling stone, my son now. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left me was alone. Hey,
oh, you're getting deep now. Welcome back. Bruce Cunningham Show with my new partner, Steve Molesky. We're off and running, and I'm happy to tell you that we finally tracked him down and got him back. One of my favorite out-of-town guys. He's kind of the me of Cleveland. He's old like me. He retired from a long TV career like me. He's still hanging in there like me. John Telich. John, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Hey, good to be on with you, Bruce, and hello, Steve. Hope you are well, my friend.
I am. Great to have you on today.
Hey, John, the Browns are on right now, as you know, and I'm watching Deshaun Watson, and it just kind of emphasizes to me what a weird couple of years it's been at the quarterback position up there, you know?
It sure has, Bruce. I mean, it's been 22 months since that guy was undersnapped in a game. I know this is preseason, but still a game. And it's so weird because a year ago, the owner of the Browns basically came out and said, I think we might have swung and missed regarding, Deshaun Watson, because he was in the throes of 2 Achilles surgeries, and we didn't think he'd be back, on the field with the Browns, much less all the salary cap hell that he put the team through.
Yeah.
But there he is, getting the first start of the preseason, and I know his first series, it was just a bunch of runs and no first down, but looked pretty decent in his second series. So here we go. More quarterback fun in Cleveland, Ohio, baby.
Here we go is the key phrase here, because as the season gets ready to go, the AFC North, you figure Baltimore is going to be up there near the top, but the rest of it, I don't get a clear picture. Do you?
I do not as well. And again, I know that Pittsburgh's got, a Hall of Famer to be, and Joey Burrows down in Cincinnati. I get a good feel, though, so far from Todd on how Todd Monken is doing his thing. I know you guys are very, very familiar with this guy. I mean, he had Lamar as the NFL MVP. I think one of those years he was the OC. So, I mean, their defense is very good. They obviously miss Myles Garrett, but I think they were kind of put in a position where they had to make some kind of a move in order to euthanize, if you will. That's a weird term, but I think you know what I mean.
I think so.
The Cleveland Browns. I mean, the Browns have euthanized Browns fans for the last 20-some years, but that's a whole other story.
Trading him away, it reminded me of a baseball trade deadline deal. You do it to sort of help yourself in the future. Did you get that same feeling?
I absolutely did, and I'm very optimistic that they can come out of this on the other side. But it all hinges on how well they can have the play at the quarterback position. You've got Deshaun with so many questions physically, whether or not he's gained speed enough after missing so much time, and then what kind of ceiling does Shador have? Or is the quarterback of the future of the Cleveland Browns not even in the building as we speak right now?
Well, speaking of that trade, how was that received then, and how has it, kind of been received by the fans now?
Yeah, I think it was universally panned. I think back 4 years ago in March of 2022 when they did the deal, because Haslam gave him all that money, every penny of it guaranteed. Yeah. And then he's really, guys, I think there was a half he played against the Ravens a few years ago where the Browns won in Baltimore. Yeah. There's been a few other games throughout this stint here as a Cleveland Brown. There hasn't been much to show for it. So he connotates to the fans, guys, that they made a horrific deal, and every time there's an opportunity to do something with the roster, or they have to be put into a position to trade away the greatest defensive player perhaps that's ever been able to wear a Browns uniform, people are reminded as to the reason why they're doing it, because number 4 is on the roster. And so he's never going to be a fan favorite, I think, guys, here in Cleveland.
Well,
I really don't believe
unless he squeezes out 12 wins for you this year, then hey, Cleveland and Baltimore doesn't have a lot in common, obviously, but one thing we do have in common is we both hate the Steelers. All right, both cities, we have that in common. Is it just me, or do you watch? They bring in Aaron Rodgers, and before that, these free agent, high price quarterback. It seems like they're not doing things in a Steeler fashion anymore.
I watched the other night when they played, and it's so funny you bring that up, Bruce, because a year ago the Browns had 4 quarterbacks.
I remember
in there, and it was a comedy of errors because you had Dillon, who was drafted higher than Shador. Shador was 4th on the chart. He was in the basement, never got a chance to see the first floor until the season went on, and then all of a sudden he's playing 6 or 7 games. And then I watched the Steelers. They, of course, have a Hall of Famer in Aaron, but then, Will Howard, a second-year QB, Ohio State. All right, not bad. Aller is a kid from Northeast Ohio. We'll follow him a lot, Drew Aller. Not bad.
He blew up the other night. Aller was great.
He did. He I think he ran one in and threw for 2.
Yeah.
And the Steelers, it's going to be very interesting to see how Mike runs that team in Pittsburgh and whether or not they can eke out some greatness from Aaron and make a run. But I still think it's going to be the Ravens, the team to watch out in the division.
Well, interesting you say that. I'm looking at an article, AFC North preview. This is one that did it by simulations, 25,000 season simulations. That's a lot. That's a computer doing that, not by hand. Wow. That would take forever. So this one spit out this projected wins. Okay. Ravens 10.2, Bengals 9.4, Steelers 8.3, Browns 6.8. Percentage to win the division, Ravens 44, Bengals 29, Steelers 17, Browns 9. Does that make any sense, or is it more wide open than what this projection says?
Well, I definitely think it probably has the Browns wins-wise kind of right in the ballpark that I'm thinking, 6-ish, and I think you said 6 point something. So I think it has it there, and I think at the top of the division, I just think the Ravens, there's a little bit of a different kind of a slant here on the offense, right?
Definitely.
Like the terminology and all this stuff. So, and I think this will be conducive to Lamar having a great year. And obviously it's a whole new era without John there running the show. I just think things portend to the Ravens still being the best team in the division and having the most wins.
You mentioned John Harbaugh and then, Tomlin in Pittsburgh, and those guys were on the job for so long, and now there's a vacuum in both places. I don't think we're going to see long careers for head coaches like that ever again. Do you?
I don't, and again, let's even talk about Todd Monken. He's 60 years of age.
Right.
He's not an old guy. 60 is young. Believe me, I'm 73. 60 is a teenager. But I think Todd. I just don't look at Todd as a long-term solution to the Browns. I think he can maybe get them to the point where they'll be a perennially good team. But I don't see him as a long-term answer. And agree with your point. Those days, of course, the Steelers have been the Steelers forever with just the 3 coaches in 20,000 years.
Crazy.
So far.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I just don't think with ownership and the wealth of the ability for these teams to continue on a path upward as far as their marketability and how much they're worth, I think the level of patience is out the door. And you've got old school family ownership there in Pittsburgh, and of course Baltimore. Your owner's been there a good chunk of the way, even in the Art Modell days,
right?
And then now with his own thing. So I think there's more patience to be derived from that type of ownership than most other ownerships in the National Football League. And yet, I think John had run his course. Maybe everybody believes that was the case in Baltimore. He's a heck of a coach. I'm going to watch him a lot this year. I'm really curious to see how well he can turn around those Giants, because I have so much respect for what John Harbaugh is as a coach.
Well, he took some pretty good players with him. In fact, there's one that I know you know of, the tight end, Isaiah Likely. He might have a huge year for the Giants,
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun to see how those guys go. There's a lot of cool questions in the National Football League this year, and I think a lot of them are in our division, and so it's going to maybe Cincinnati is could have a breakout year. I just don't know, but I still believe it's the Ravens' title to lose in the division.
Hey, John, I hear a hot rumor that the Bengals are going to try and play defense this year. Have you heard that?
that unfounded.
Jeez. Hey, so John, what things have Monken brought to the Browns?
A little bit more of a sense of urgency as to how he's run things in camp, and I think there's been more accountability towards how someone made a great point that they're playing they're doing calculus pre-snap, but during the play itself, it's more like basic math.
Mm-hmm.
I get that point to be that he's so astute into setting up play calling, setting up motion, setting up whatever it is before the snap, they hope that will register to be a much more prolific offense with the people that they have. And so I think he engenders, he's very frank. He's used a few cuss words, which I think is great because it was very carefully modulated persona that Kevin Stefanski had in Cleveland. And he did, win Coach of the Year a couple of times. I'm not degrading him one bit, but it seems like in some way just a cool older guy that's come in and is doing his thing, is trying to run this franchise.
Well, I tell you what, his last two bosses were Kirby Smart and John Harbaugh. That's pretty good pedigree right there.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, 100%.
Well, John, I know the game's going on. I know you want to get back to it. I'm thrilled that you had some time for me this week. We'll do it again real soon.
I look forward to it, and welcome to Steve. Good to talk to you, my friend.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
All right, John. Thanks. There he goes. John's the nicest guy in the world.
Sounds like it.
But I'm going to tell you a story. I didn't tell it when he was on the air because he's heard me say it so many times. But back in the late 70s, when I was getting started at Channel 8 in Richmond, they belonged to this talent service called MAGID, M-A-G-I-D, and they were hot at the time. They did Good Morning America and all that. And so Channel 8 had a contract with MAGID, and I'm 19 years old, whatever I am, and so they send me out there. They send me out, and I had to sit there for 2 days looking at tapes of guys that were better than me. And one of the things that I saw that they were real high on, John was still, I think, in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and he came up with this thing called Telich Tries It, which meant you had to go out and play every sport and jump off every, and just be participatory is what they called it. And I told him that every sportscaster in America wanted to kick his butt for about a month, after seeing that. You were never going to be as good as John Telich. But he retired a couple of years ago, and just a wonderful...
Who was the sportscaster even before you got here and I got here? Channel 2 ripped the Colts secondary one day, and they doused him with water in the clubhouse. I think he said something like, I could do as well as these guys.
Oh, he did not.
That's one. Don't go there.
I'm going to tell you something I learned covering the NFL for 30-some years. The one thing I've learned is I can watch a game, and I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay?
Yes.
It's the ultimate centipede. You turn it over, and all the legs are going. And it's funny. So many people will watch a game and think that they know what went on, and they really don't.
When I was broadcasting the Ironbirds, it was the first time in my life I got to stand at a batting cage and watch a professional hitter.
Yeah.
And these were short season, low-level minor leaguers.
Right.
Their bat speed, which you don't get from the stands or the press box, but when you stand right there, I was like, holy cow. These kids, most of which will never make the majors, are so good. Oh, my God. I had no idea they could swing the bat that fast.
And the thing, I'd gotten a pitching machine one time, and I said, set that thing on 80, just on 80, right, which would get you mashed in the major league.
Yeah.
It made me sick to my stomach. And it hums. It makes a sound.
It was like
crazy.
It was whipped through the zone, and you don't get that sitting in the stands, believe me.
And that's why I always tell people there's no such thing as a bad player in Major League Baseball.
No, there certainly isn't.
By definition, you can't get there.
You're the best of the best of the best.
All right, we're going back to the phones next. I got Rocco, I got Mike, I got Steve, I got Jason. You can get in line behind them. 410-583-1057. Stick around. We're still rolling.
If you're thinking about it,
every day.
We're talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
105.7 The Fan.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Is there anything Albert, my AI financial assistant, can't do? Albert, can you create a financial plan just for me?
Yes, I've reviewed your accounts, income, and spending. Here's your plan and a few suggestions.
Great. Any savings I'm missing out on?
I reorganized your budget and found an extra $500 this month. Would you like me to transfer that to your savings?
Sure.
Done.
Oh, I'm thinking about moving. Can you get me more cash?
Albert can get you a loan up to $10,000 fast. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect. Looks like Albert really can do everything.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GAIN to try Genius, your AI financial assistant, and get up to $10,000. Just download the Albert app and use promo code GAIN to try Genius and get up to $10,000. Promo code GAIN.
Hey, it's Ken Wyman. Final Drive is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, the MLB season is in full swing, and FanDuel's giving you a chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home of home run. So are you ready to play your game? Head over to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local to opt in for daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 105.7 The Fan. 21 plus and present in Maryland. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Please play responsibly. For help, visit them at mdgamblinghelp.org or give them a call at 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage. Roadside assistance for breakdowns. Bill negotiation to help lower your bills. Identity theft aid for peace of mind. And you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You could do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back. Bruce Cunningham Show with my new partner, Steve Molesky. I'm looking at the YouTube channel, and I'm seeing some comments. Somebody said Bruce and Steve, absolutely legendary show. Bruce and Steve are a great team. See, I'm glad you guys are enjoying this because I knew you would. And then somebody said, is this the permanent Saturday lineup? Well, yes, it is.
Awesome.
Yeah. In fact, let me let you guys peek behind the curtain. When it was me and Femi, I was going to have trouble if something came up and I couldn't make it in, and like, I'm not ashamed to tell you this. I'm reluctant to tell you that next month will be my 50th high school reunion.
Wow.
On a Friday
Tab
night.
high.
Yeah, the Tab Tigers. I didn't think I was going to be able to go. But then the light came on when we talked the other night. I said, I can go now.
Oh, you should.
So you
shouldn't miss that. You shouldn't miss that.
You got the show that weekend.
No, I got you covered.
I know you do. But Femi, see, I couldn't drop it on Femi, So I got more flexibility now. All right, we had a short talk during a break. We had a caller earlier that was talking about the Hall of Fame, and you vote for the Hall of Fame now. And his question was, what player belongs in there that's not in there? Do you have somebody that's at the top of your list?
Oh, wow. I really don't, because I never looked at the Hall voting very much until I had to do it.
Right.
Then I looked at it very differently. And I was telling you during the break, first thing I did last year when I became an official voter is I reached out to a bunch of media guys who I'm friends with in this area who have voted for a long time. Guys I respected like Rock and Dan Connolly and Mark Zuckerman and Rich and guys who have done it. What's your process? How do you do it? What have you found challenging? I wanted to really do my homework before I ever looked at a candidate for the Hall. And the whole process, Bruce, when I sent my ballot in, and it still goes old-fashioned, I think, mail, actually, the whole time I kept saying, who am I to tell this guy he's a Hall of Famer or not?
Yeah.
What am I? But then I realized there's hundreds of voters, so don't be intimidated by it. Just do the best you can. And I think I voted for 6 on my 10, and 3 got in, I think it was. But it's just a hard process to do. How do you compare a guy who plays 10 years ago to a guy who plays 30 years ago? Yeah. As I explained to you, the ballot. And you don't, like, people say, vote for this guy. Well, he's not even eligible to be voted for, so I can't. They give you a sheet with like 30 names, and you got to pick some from those 30. And so every year it'll be different because some will fall off,
right, and
some will come on first time. So it was a daunting process to me.
So players can expire, in other words. Yeah.
If they get less than 5% of the vote, they're out. So some guys come on for 1 year and they're one and done because they didn't get enough votes to be retained.
In the NFL, it was Mike Preston for years and years. It had Baltimore's vote, and then the Sun decided they didn't want their guys doing that. So Garceau still has Baltimore's vote.
Yes,
and is absolute secrecy. In fact, if you violate it, you're off the board. Is it that way with the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Well, it's different with the Hall of Fame. Some reveal their ballot ahead of time. They ask you not to, and I chose not to. I didn't reveal it till they announced the guys who got in, and then I said, here's what my ballot looked like.
Yeah.
But now they have these trackers. They have guys who track it and reach out to voters, and the more they compile, they track, and it's interesting to look at the trending of the voting, and you kind of sort of know before who might have a shot because it's pretty foolproof. This tracking is pretty good.
Do they ever address the steroid guys in the Hall of Fame?
Well, it's individualized because there is a sportsmanship clause in the Hall of Fame for baseball. Okay. It says you should consider sportsmanship, and it tells you the guidelines to consider, but they're guidelines. They're not hard and fast. You need to vote A, B, C. That's how you do it. So it's different for every guy, and for me, that the advice I got was take it on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
The voters I reached out to don't have a blanket. I never vote for a steroid user. I always would. It's blurred lines. And the other thing, Bruce, to this is we don't know about a lot of this. We suspect,
exactly,
or we have suspicions, or someone was in the Mitchell report. But the guy you voted for, he might have been more of an abuser, but we never knew it.
Yeah. That's a very good point. And you kind of stunned me there.
Right?
Let's go to Mike in White Plains. Mike, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking.
Hey, Mike.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, Steve. Congratulations on your new gig, man.
Thank you, man.
You're a Hall of Fame yourself, man.
Oh, you
know that, man.
You are very kind. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Bruce is my man. I'm still pissed off because I'm black and he know more about black music than me.
That's a fine compliment, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, let me ask you 2 questions, man.
All right.
One, that play last night where the challenge where he was able to run from first to second base and they awarded him second base even though it was a challenge. They try to say that the catcher didn't make a play to second base, but I thought the runner actually stopped running as fast because he thought it was a walk, like the catcher thought it was going to walk. It was a walk until he challenged it. So I don't understand. That's going to be one of those controversy plays, man. And hopefully it doesn't happen in the playoffs to where somebody end up losing the game, because that was a critical play last night, and that could have ended up very bad for the Orioles.
Well, supposedly, how's the catcher going to think of this? But supposedly, you could make a play on a space stealer and then challenge. It's the one time there's a loophole because you're supposed to challenge immediately, right? Not wait 3 seconds or they won't accept your challenge. But and it happened once in an Oriole game this year, I think, when the Orioles were trying to steal a base, when the catcher threw that through and then he tapped his head. And that's acceptable because you're allowed to make the play in front of you.
I remember that play. Yeah, I do.
But let me ask you a question, though. But see, I don't think that play was in a walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that play wasn't in the commission of a walk. Like, because the umpire called ball 4 and the batter started walking to first base and the runner was already running and he slowed down, so the catcher popped up and he figured, okay, maybe it's a walk, but let me challenge it. It's like he had a split second to think. I don't understand what his train of thought was, but it didn't seem like he had a lot of time to process that personally. You know what I mean?
It's confusing. It's a confusing play, and I think they probably got it right in the end. They allowed the runner to have the base, and the Orioles got the strike call on the ABS challenge.
Well, what I was just complaining about with the explanation they gave. They said, well, he didn't make a play to second base. And I was thinking, well, a base runner actually slowed up and started running halfway down because he thought it was a walk like the...
I got you, Mike. So. And you know what? You bring up a larger point. And, Steve, I've been saying this all along. One of the great things about the NFL is that the referee has to step away, turn that mic on, and explain the call. Just tell everybody what they just saw. Baseball doesn't have that element, and baseball could really use it, Well, it confuses fans, too, when they say the call is overturned, the call is confirmed, the call stands. They all mean different things. Yeah. Stands usually means we don't have enough to overturn it, but we're not sure the call was right. But as it's called, it's going to stand because we've looked at all the angles and we don't have anything to overturn it. Yeah, there are 11 veteran umpires retiring after this season, and I'm sure it's connected to that replay system. Yeah, and ABS. Because, in baseball, one of the terms you always hear is showing people up. Don't show me up. Don't show him up. I think they feel shown up in a lot of cases, especially the veterans. But I think when the ABS system, I like it, Bruce. It's I do fast. Too. It's getting the calls right. That's the bottom line. And the bottom line is a lot of umpires were not great at calling balls and strikes, so we got to get it right. And it's popular with the fans. Oh, yeah. When I first heard replay was coming in, I thought, oh, boy, they're going to slow down the game even more. But it's become a vital part. I got to admit that I've been convinced. All right, that's it for hour number 2. Coming up next hour, Mike Popovic's going to join us around 2:50 to set the stage for his show. In the meantime, I got plenty of room for your calls. Oh, Steve, I got one on here you're going to love. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to surprise you with this one. 410-583-1057. We stick around.
The teams you grew up with.
Ravens are world champions.
Are the ones you still love today. 105.7 The Fan.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
To make exercise a habit, find something you enjoy, like shopping. It counts as a workout when it's Kohl's Active Sale. Get 20% off across the store and 25% off top active brands for feeling your best. Plus, enjoy a sales tax holiday in Maryland. Adding to your cart is pretty much cardio, right? Find out at Kohl's. Select styles, 25% offer ends August 15th, 20% offer ends August 16th. Exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back. Bruce Cunningham Show, hour number 3. Steve Molesky alongside, and he will be every week from here on in, and we're damn thrilled about that. Ravens tonight, 7 o'clock, taking on the Eagles in an increasingly meaningless preseason game. Steve, I read Mike Preston's column this morning, and he said he's opines that preseason games are pretty much going to be a thing of the past. You know, well, teams have these organized practices against other teams, and that's really what preseason games are going to be. Nobody benefits.
But they don't bring in revenue, though.
No. Well, that's what I was getting to. Matty used to tell me when he played, they had six preseason games.
I remember that.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I remember that.
What's wrong with your roster after 6
Well, they
games?
started, remember, it was the... I think it was like the all-pro team against the college all-star
team.
Or no, maybe it was the championship team.
The college all-star team would play the defending champ.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, and Matty told a great story about that. He had gone to that game. And so he said he was the number 1 draft pick, and he was late for 2 weeks because he was in that game. So he said either one of those things would have made the veterans hate him, but he had both of them going for him. So
yeah,
thumbs up. I miss him. I miss him every day.
Clearly for the coaching staff, they get the top line guys in these practice sessions, and that's good enough for them.
Yeah, and besides a preseason game, you're just going to get people hurt. Like tonight, you're going to, to use the old joke, the Ravens may have guys with 3-digit numbers out there. I mean, there's so many. But keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to tell you one guy to watch for tonight, folks. Nate Wiggins and Marlon Humphrey are both hurt, and they weren't going to play anyway, but they're both injured. And this guy's going into his 3rd year, TJ Tampa. You hear Vinny say a lot of nice things about him. Mm-hmm. Watch for him tonight. He could play a prominent role. And the other thing I would watch for tonight is the offensive line play. Because that's the biggest question, Steve, going into this season. You know, Lamar last year had 4 injuries below the knees, or below the waist, rather. It's all because of that porous offensive line. I'm really looking for a big step up there. I'll be watching them closely tonight.
Yeah, Mavenga's going to play tonight, I hear a little bit, right?
Yeah. Oh, have you seen him? He blocks out the sun.
I just want to learn to say his name. That's my first. I'm going to go with Venga for now.
It is Venga.
Yes.
It was like when we had to learn Tua's last name when Talia played at Maryland. There's an N buried in there too. And that's one thing I was going to tell you. Having a Polish last name, you got no hidden letters. I had a producer for years at Fox 45 named Paul Strigowski, and there was silent N's and silent G's and all. You don't have any of that.
Well, I have a W.
Well, that's okay.
People say Maluski, which is not right because they see how it's spelled. It said Molesky, obviously. So in fact, Mike Krzyzewski once told me this, that W is silent. I said, yes, Coach, I know. And he told me it should be pronounced Malevsky, like a V. How about that? I'm sitting one-on-one with Mike Krzyzewski talking about Polish names. And I turned to him and I said, I wish my mom were here to hear this conversation.
Absolutely. Krzyzewski, if you never saw him coach live, if you only watch Duke on TV, the key to Krzyzewski the whole time, and I used to love to do this in College Park, is watch him. Because from before the tip-off that starts the game, he's on that referee's ass. And it doesn't stop the entire game.
No.
It never, ever stop. I'm sure there are referees who would just like to deck him.
Back in the day when Mike Yastrzemski came in, was it spring training finally?
Yeah.
After trying to get to spring training for years, the Orioles finally brought him in. I walked up to him in Sarasota. I said, so nice to have another Polak in this clubhouse.
He was a good player.
He was. He still is a good player. He's still a great guy.
I saw his, you said you did Florida State. I remember when Carl's son played at Florida State. They had some pretty good teams down there at the time.
2 years I was the play-by-play guy at Florida State. Okay. When I was calling the Ironbirds and I got booted by WBAL back in the day, I was in my 40s and I didn't know what.
Yeah.
And eventually led me to broadcast the Ironbirds. And I got a call from Mike Jaskolski, who was the head coach of Towson basketball at the time.
Yeah, I remember him.
And then Jazz left Towson and was an assistant coach to Leonard Hamilton at Florida State. Called me out of the blue one day and said, we got a tragedy here at Florida State baseball. I don't know what you're doing now, but our announcer, legendary announcer Lee Bowen, died in his sleep.
Oh, man.
And they're looking for another baseball announcer, and that led me to take that job. And at Florida State, baseball is a big deal.
I know. I've been there.
Baseball is a big deal. Bruce, I went through a day's worth of interviews to get that job. They had 100 people. They cut it to like 10. They brought 4 of us to campus. They treated it like they were hiring the school president. I mean, believe me, I went through a battery of interviews just to become the baseball announcer. But I had a great time there. Mike Martin, legendary coach. He's still the winningest coach in NCAA history, any sport, and died of dementia. So sad. But Florida State baseball treated me like I was one of the family.
Gene Deckerhoff is a longtime friend of mine. Legendary
He was on the committee that hired me.
Was he really?
Yes, he was.
Isn't he the nicest guy in the world?
He is.
In the early 80s, when I was working in Mobile, Eddie Stanky was still coaching at South Alabama, and it was his last year, and they made the NCAA tournament. So we went to the regional there in Tallahassee. Alabama was also there, so we had 2 teams to cover. Alabama went to College World Series that year. It's when they had Dave Magadan and all that. But the one takeaway from that time I spent in Florida at Florida State for this regional, the out in right field, beyond the wall, the circus set up out there.
Circus tent.
Is it still there?
When they would hit a home run, we call it a circus shot. Yep.
They offer a circus
It
degree.
was still there when I was calling the games. Now, my last year was Buster Posey's freshman year.
Yeah.
That's how long ago I was at Florida State.
Wow.
But Florida State is a legendary program. I had so much fun there. We traveled classy. Everything was classy about that program. And Gene Deckerhoff, I used to go to basketball games when I was off. You're off a lot, and had nights off a lot. And they would get me in a press pass, and I'd hang out with Gene Deckerhoff. And he sat in some games with me calling baseball. Just came, he would just show up and call a couple innings.
Yeah,
and he just retired from the Bucks.
I know. What a long career. I'm telling you, it was
legendary
great.
guy.
But I mentioned Eddie Stanky, and it was fun because that was the old Sun Belt Conference. And you had Eddie Stanky at South Alabama, Robin Roberts at South Florida, and Harry Walker at UAB. And those are some great college baseball coaching matchups.
Let me tell you what I will think about for the rest of my life when I hear the name Eddie Stanky. I don't know if you know this. It was the John Miller book about Earl Weaver.
Yeah.
He wrote about Earl when Earl was a prospect in the minors.
I know that, yeah.
Earl was a really good player. Mm-hmm. Now, all we ever heard was Earl sucked as a player. But when Earl was at AAA, he was about to be the major league second baseman for his hometown, St. Louis Cardinals. But at the time, the Cardinals had a player manager who also played second base named
Eddie Stanky.
And when they came time for the final roster, he cut Earl Weaver so he could keep the second base job.
Yeah.
And he was terrible as a player then, and he should have kept Earl Weaver, and it devastated Earl Weaver. I think it led to some of his alcohol issues. It just devastated the man, but it did lead him to become a manager.
I loved that book. I love that book.
That's a fantastic book.
But that part broke my heart.
Mine too.
Because I know Eddie Stanky, and it just...
Mine too, just because of knowing Earl.
One more thing about college baseball. We would be remiss if we're talking college baseball. Skip Bertman passed away yesterday.
Yes.
What a legend.
Yes. He meant so much to Ben McDonald. I saw Ben pour his heart out on social media, and Ben said he went to see him the night before he passed. So that's how close Ben was with this legendary LSU baseball coach.
And before that at Miami. And he put that Miami program basically on the map. And I was surprised LSU was able to hire him away, And he won a lot of games. And like Steve said, Ben thinks he hung the moon. I like Ben a lot. And you're a veteran broadcaster like I am. He's one of the most natural talents I've ever heard. He
certainly is. He certainly is. He sounds, and I say this with all affection, he sounds like a country bumpkin on the air. He's got that drawl. But Ben,
Southern accents in baseball work.
Is as smart as it comes about the game. And what he's done, Bruce, so well is he doesn't he has a little rant on analytics earlier this year, but don't be mistaken by that to take the fact that Bruce still studies all that, and he knows every analytic data, he knows every spin rate. He knows it. He may not use it a ton, but he keeps up with all trends in the game, and he's able to communicate it, and he's become a great broadcaster.
When he first got here, before he started doing TV, he would do radio, and he said on the radio one night, I'm driving back from dinner to Fox 45, and I almost had to pull over. I was laughing so hard. He said that it was his job in the 7th inning to go wake up Lee Smith. He said he'd take him a cup of coffee and everything. So he lets that die down a little bit. He said, Lee Smith called me Hot Shot the whole time because he never knew my name. And Ben's just got stories. He can just roll them out like that. And they're a pleasure to listen to because Kevin Brown's one of the great young announcers. And the Orioles would be very smart to lock him up long term,
Yes. Outstanding.
I think the world of him. And one other thing it made me think of, I'm free associating here. You read John Miller's book, right?
I did. I don't think I ever read it to the end. Can you believe that? But I've read a lot of it, yes.
Well, he told the story when he was doing Sunday Night Baseball that one week they were preempted. So he said he got up that morning and flew to Toronto to get the paper just to stay in a groove.
When Earl was first starting broadcasting, they noticed he never moved his head. And it's because he thought if he turned his head real fast, the headset would come flying off. And they finally had to tell him, Earl, the headset moves with you, buddy. You can go wherever you want. It stays on.
That's what Earl had to perm, too.
Earl would just look straight ahead.
My first year here, it wasn't unusual to hear on the radio John Miller working with Chuck Thompson. And even at that stage of my career, when I was still pretty young, I remember sitting there thinking, what a fine thing to hear. Those two guys working together.
Gosh.
I mean, you talk about a high water mark. My goodness. And Chuck, as you remember, retired. And then he came back about 3 years later. And I want to relate this in Chuck's voice. Somebody said, well, Chuck, why did you come back? He said, Betty told me I married you for better or for worse, but not for lunch. I've never forgotten that line. All right, stick around, everybody. Phones are back open. We're going to bring in a local celebrity coming up next. Stick around.
What happens next happens here. Baltimore Sports Radio.
That ball is out of here.
105.7 The Fan.
This Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., it's the 12-hour sale event at Ashley. Save up to 70% store-wide, plus enjoy free delivery. Plus, we're giving away prizes every hour. Big savings, big giveaways, and one big day to shop. Don't miss the 12-hour sale this Saturday at Ashley.
Hey, it's Rob Long for Elephant in the Room, my go-to place for the Nashville hot chicken tacos, the burnt ends, the deviled eggs, and when I really want to sit down for a meal, I get the steak. It is tremendous. Elephant in the Room is the place to go, as you know, for the orange and black, but just around the corner is football, and they also are your place to go for the men in purple. Just over there on Veterans Highway in Millersville, also go to eatdrinkelephant.com and check out the menu. Tell them Rob Long sent you.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory. It's bold. It's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Imagine every time your business makes a sale. Inventory updates, an invoice is created, customer records are updated, accounting stays current. That's the power of Odoo. One fully integrated platform where every part of your business works together, automating tasks, eliminating extra steps, and saving you valuable time. Everything connects. Everything works. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins AeroBurst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of AeroBurst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back. Glad you're with us. My new partner, Steve Molesky. Now, Steve, we had a local celebrity give us a call, and he's somebody who's near and dear to your heart. You used to see him in the upper deck leading cheers at Colts games, the one and only Big Wheel Len Burrier. Len, I'm awful glad you called in. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, buddy? And I'm glad Steve's on there with you because he's a good guy. He knows a lot. He knows almost as much as you do.
Almost. Now I sat in there many times in Memorial Stadium, Len, cheering you guys on. You and the little spoke or whatever it was. Is that what you call them? The little spoke, I think.
Spoke
would come around each section and COLTS Colts. Man, that's as loud as it would get in that place.
Yeah, it was a good time, and I keep thinking about it. I'm thinking ain't nobody else could do that. But
no, you did it in September. They brought back the 75 Colts. You were there.
Yeah, I was there. I'm sorry I couldn't lead a good Colts here. I had
led a great one.
Surgery, and I couldn't move. Anyhow, I just found out why I'm not in the Hall of Fame. I didn't get enough votes, and they just knocked me off the list. Anyhow,
Glad you're in my Hall of Fame. Believe me.
Thanks. It's good to hear you guys, and Bruce and Steve. It's good to hear your stories of all your old coaches and your previous lives, so to speak. It's interesting.
The one thing you can count on with old media guys is we got plenty of stories.
Oh man.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
One week we're going to record the chats during the commercial breaks and just play that the next week, and it'll be as good as anything we probably have going on air.
You know what? Let's be smart about it. Let's record them all, and that can be our last quarter hour. We can get out of here early. What do you think?
We've had some great stories outside the breaks today.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
Can you tell me if Jimmy Irsay's wife is going to be there at the Colts game?
His wife died a long time ago. His daughter's running the team now.
Jimmy, his son.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jimmy's daughter.
Jimmy Irsay. Jimmy's.
No, his daughter is the CEO now. His daughter.
Okay, I thought it was Jimmy's.
No.
Jimmy's wife.
No, he left it to his oldest child's running it. I forget her name, but she uses her married name. She's like something Irsay blank, So, but yeah, it's stayed in the family. That's for sure.
I'd like to meet her and go to the game and talk to her because I knew Bob. Bob, the first time I met him, he said, "Don't call me Mr. Irsay, call me Bob, and don't call my wife Mrs. Irsay." And he treated me and Bud, the spoke. He treated us well, and so did Jimmy. I've known Jimmy from he was knee high to a grasshopper from when the Colts came here. But anyhow, it's good to hear you. I'm right now. I'm 81 years old, but I'm going on 46. So that's what I tell the doctors. They say, "How old are you?" I say, 46. They say, "What?" And they got to look at their sheets real quick. But you're only as old as you feel.
That's a fact.
Tell you that.
That's a fact. And I'm 107. If you're as old as you feel. Thanks, Lynn. Good to hear from you, man.
Good to hear from you guys, and I hope to hear from you and Steve. I hope they say, "Hey, it's the Bruce and Steve show on Saturday."
Well, we'll probably do that. I mean, this thing was kind of thrown together quickly, but we'll work on it. But it feels like a natural pairing. This has been a pleasure today. This has flown by.
It is a natural pairing. But anyhow,
thanks, Lynn.
And you all have a good summer.
All right, thanks.
Down the ocean next week. See ya.
Hey, watch out for the jellyfish. Wendy and I went down this week, and you can't even get in the water. It's terrible. Let's go, Mike, let's go to line 8, Jason in Baltimore. Jason, what's on your mind?
Hey, Bruce. Hey, Steve.
Hey.
Blast from your past, Jason Vaughn, former intern for you, Bruce.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Steve.
Sure.
You and I go back way. I got to tell you, this has been the best Saturday. Went down to the Eastern Shore to grab some crabs from my dad. On my way back, I got Ravens and Orioles, and then I find out you two are partnered. As somebody who's gotten to sit under the learning tree of both of you and hear these stories that everybody's talking about, I'm super excited for this, and I'm thrilled for both of you. You guys are the two of the best in the business, and I'm thankful to have spent time with both of you.
Well, you're awfully nice to say that, Jason. Thank you.
Jason, stud from the Aberdeen Ironbirds back in the day. Press box didn't make a move without this dude.
Well, he's capable, that's for sure.
Yes, he is.
Jason, thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, let's go to Steve in Southern Maryland. Steve, what's on your mind?
Bruce, how you doing, sir? Long time fan, first time calling into your show.
Great.
I love that you have Steve with you. He's a great baseball mind. I love listening to him too.
Thank you.
Just wanted to say that, Bruce, I love listening to you on Saturdays because you remind me of my childhood riding around with my dad in the car, He always listens to talk show radio.
Yeah.
But he always listens to the classics that you play all the time. And I can't believe that you never heard Aretha Franklin, Son of a Preacher Man, before.
I had never heard it. And the instant I heard it, I said, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to talk baseball real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Glad to see Gunnar got a great night last night in the 5-hole. I know everybody was calling for him to get moved out to the lineup for, less pressure on him, and it turned out well. I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the year, but we need WC Gunnar.
Yeah.
What we saw over there, during the Classic, because he was an absolute stud. And if he can do half of what he did in WBC in the prior years, I think this team could make it to the playoffs.
Just get back on track and stay on track.
Get back on track and stay on track. Exactly.
It's a hard thing to do.
Starter pitchers going to keep them in the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We just never know.
All right, Steve. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Speaking of Gunnar, Steve, this is I spent a lot of years in Alabama. High school football is huge in Alabama.
Right.
When I look at Gunnar Henderson and I see that frame that he's got, how in the world did they keep him out of football?
Yeah, Auburn guy. He was signed to go to Auburn when the Orioles drafted him in the second round. He was also the Alabama high school basketball player of the year.
In fact, Ryan Ripken, plays a lot of basketball. He's a great player.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that they've been challenging him, that Gunnar wants to play him. And Ryan said, "Are you sure?"
Ooh, exactly.
I said,
careful on this one, Ryan.
Can we bring a camera? And Ryan said, "I don't think we can afford to bring a camera." I said, you're probably right. But I swear I look at Gunnar, Selma, Alabama, and I see a football player. I really do.
I say this about Gunnar, and I've said it a lot of times on these shows. This kid is as good as gold.
Yeah.
And when he got called up and he was calling yes sir, no sir, and one of the media guys said to me, "Steve, this ain't real, is it?" I said, "No, this is real. He's going to call you sir next year and the year after." And he doesn't do it as much now as he used to, but he still does every now and again. Somebody will ask him something, he'll say, "Yes, sir."
You know who else does that?
That's just who he is.
Lamar.
Exactly.
Lamar Jackson does,
Exactly.
and he calls female reporters Miss, like Miss Amber or whatever,
It's just how they was raised, and he was obviously raised by great parents, and he's got a great family, and he's never changed. I interviewed Gunnar at Bowie many times, and he's humble. For as much success as he's had, he's never changed. And I told him at the end of one of his first years with the Orioles, "Kid, don't ever change.
Yeah.
You're about perfect the way you are." And he's just really a good guy. So when something good happens to him with all the grief he's taken this year, makes me feel good.
He married at a very young age, and baseball can be hard on marriages. You've seen it, I've seen it. You're gone 10 days at a time or anything.
Right.
But I thought strategically, getting married at a young age might have been a very smart thing for him. A lot easier to stay focused, a lot easier to stay inside the white line, so to speak.
Well, Gunnar, when he was in Aberdeen, he started 1-31. I don't think people remember that now in A-ball. And he moved to Double-A, and I interviewed him at the end of the year, and I said, "I want to ask you about something that you've never gone through in your life." He said, "What's that?" I said, "You were 1-31 when you started in Aberdeen for about a week. What was that like?" And he actually went saw a sports psychologist. He said, "I was trying to change everything every night.
Yeah.
My batting stance, this and that. And finally they told me, you're good enough. Just play." So I don't know if any of that helped him now. Probably not. It's not the same being 1-31 in A-ball and 1-31 or whatever in the major leagues. Very different. But it's just been a mentally challenging year for him.
Did you ever see that movie, Sugar? About the minor leaguers?
Yes.
What a fascinating movie. And it did no business. Nobody's ever really heard of it.
Right. About the Dominican.
That one scene where they go out to breakfast and he knows French toast, so he eats it every day, and he manages to tell the waitress, "Well, do you have something not sweet?" And remember, she showed him a picture of all the egg dishes. People don't realize what Latin players go through in the minor leagues.
They absolutely don't. One of my joys on my job is getting to know some of the foreign-born players.
Right.
Last year, I sat for a half hour in Aberdeen with Aaron Estrada with an interpreter. And when I went to Double-A this year, Aaron Estrada gave me a big hug and a big smile. They know you. They get to know you. And they know you give a darn about their life. And I've gotten to know some of these young kids. Basayo, I was interviewing him before anybody was. And I told everybody, when this kid gets to the big leagues and you see him flash that smile, it's going to blow you away. And he's starting to learn English. He'll be talking without an interpreter before too long because that's just who he is. So another good one.
I think physically there's an adjustment that needs to be made there. He can't keep getting injured like this. Plus, at age 21, I'd like to see him weigh a little bit less too. I'm just saying.
Well, it's going to be interesting, the future of the catching position. I've speculated that they really like Narvaez, and I could see them having, it's not a platoon, obviously, because you ain't sitting Basayo out.
No.
But I could see them taking pressure off Basayo, not having him catch 115 games, maybe 80 or something. I don't know how it's going to play out. If Narvaez is really someone long-term they see, some people keep asking me about Creed Willems at AAA, having a pretty good year with the bat. I'm not sure how the defense plays. I have to look more into that. And they got this Ethan Anderson, just came back last night off a rehab, at UVA kid who's having a really good year as a switch hitting catcher. So they got some in the pipeline that could eventually join Basayo up here.
Didn't I read that they are now the second rated minor league system in baseball?
By Fangraphs.
Fangraphs, yeah.
And they're fifth in the organizational rankings by Baseball America. And that sounds more right to me. I never thought they were second. Fangraphs does it by value. They put a monetary value on these kids in the future.
Yeah.
And they just keep stacking it up to see who.
I got it.
And that's how they did it. It's kind of a convoluted way to do it, but Fangraphs is very deep thinking website, with baseball. So that's how they do it.
People ask me all the time, what's the biggest change that happened in your career? And I got a point at gambling. We were always told not to give out gambling information. That's not what we do, and the FCC was and now everybody's in bed with them. It's amazing. And now it's left the sporting realm. And now they have future markets, they call them, where you can bet on like anything else that happens in the world. It's crazy.
The thing is, what gets some people in trouble is this bet. You can bet on a play. You can bet on a pitch.
Yeah,
that's how that Cleveland pitcher got suspended.
Yeah,
he was cheating and letting people know he was going to bounce one.
Now, before you get too deeply into sports betting, let me tell you something. Have you ever been to a casino? You ever seen how ornate casinos are? You know why? Because they win all the time.
Well, that's right.
And everybody, I know a guy that gambles for a living. No, you don't.
Not many.
They don't exist. 410-583-1057. We're coming back. Stick around.
Wherever the Orioles season takes you.
Say goodbye to this ball.
Download the free Odyssey app and hear reactions to all the biggest moments. Download it today and search 1057 The Fan.
Your home will sell guaranteed. Hire the Lee Tessier team with eXp Realty. If Lee can't find you a buyer, he'll buy it himself. LeeTessier.com.
If you're selling your home, don't make it hard. Just call Lee Tessier.
Hey, it's Ken Wyman. Final Drive is presented by FanDuel. Golf fans, the PGA season's in full swing. As the world's best navigate these hallowed fairways, FanDuel is here to bring you closer to every career-defining moment. There's nothing quite like the emotional journey of championship golf, and FanDuel's round betting features let you join the day-to-day moments of it all with hole-by-hole markets like round leader, birdie counts, finishing position, and more. No need to wait till Sunday for a big win. Think you know how it's all going down? Combine your top 5 finishers into a parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. And don't forget, with FanDuel, when you win, you get paid instantly. So you ready to play your game? Just visit FanDuel.com/local to join now. That's FanDuel.com/local to bet the PGA Tour with America's #1 sportsbook. Every swing can be a winner with FanDuel, an official partner of the PGA. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 1057 The Fan. 21 plus and present in Maryland. Please play responsibly. For help, visit them at mdgamblinghelp.org or give them a call at 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers. And someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money. And most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and saved thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage. Roadside assistance for breakdowns. Bill negotiation to help lower your bills. Identity theft aid for peace of mind. And you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You could do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead? Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection. You object to what? Erroneous. Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel? You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back. Bruce and Steve passing a Saturday with you. Mike Popovic's going to join us later in the hour. Looking forward to that. And I'll give you a fun fact about this song. It's a Shame. Written by a 16-year-old Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Couldn't cash the checks yet, but he sure wrote that hit song. Let's go to Kevin in Randallstown. Kevin, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey there.
I just want to say happy anniversary to you, Bruce, on your 11th anniversary.
Thank you for mentioning that, because Wendy's going to kill me that I didn't. So thanks, Kevin. I appreciate you saved me.
I saw it on your Facebook today.
Yeah. 11 years passed really fast. I still don't know how I landed that. I have no idea.
Just keep moving forward and be happy you're there.
I told Deborah Weiner one time, I said I used every last bit of game that I had left. And she looked at me, and you know Deborah, you know how funny she is. Deborah looks at me and said, "You had game?" So, yeah.
Deborah's on Channel 11. She did the sports last night. Did you see that?
No.
She did a sports cast.
No.
She did well.
I want to die.
If she's listening or you're her friend, tell Deborah Weiner that we said she did a good job in sports.
You know, she was with me in the original Fox 45 crew. You know, she was a news reporter. And,
I mean, they wrote the script for her, obviously, but she delivered it well.
I'm going to give her a hard time next time I see her. Kevin, what's on your mind? You got us running here.
Well, the other thing is I wanted to say happy heavenly birthday to Earl Weaver, who yesterday would have been 96 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Earl at 96?
Yes. I wish you were here.
Me too.
Well, the other thing was, I know this guy called your show earlier around the start of it, was talking about the indoor. He doesn't like he likes the outdoor stadiums.
Yeah. Tony in Rosedale. Yeah.
Right. Well, no, I think it was another guy. But anyway, I remembered, I think I might have told you the story before. I remember going to a game against the Steelers when I had season tickets at the time. It was at Memorial Stadium, and it was just a deluge of rain. Not one of those raining on and off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a mess from the start all the way through. I remember walking back to my car, and when I got in my car, the windows just instantly fogged up because I was soaking wet. And I know people, that like that, but I said to myself, I will never, ever do that again. I will never, ever go to something like that again. And I know these people, like you were saying in Buffalo, that wanted an outdoor stadium, but you wait till the first time to get one of those minus 20 degrees with the wind chill index. The thing that bothers me more so than anything is when they take their little small kids to something like that. It's different if you're an adult and you go to a game.
Yeah.
You take your little small kids to something like that.
NFL games are not a good atmosphere for kids. They're just not.
Yeah.
It's loud and it's profane and it's I wouldn't take kids. I wouldn't.
Yeah, in that kind of thing. I mean, I know everybody has their own opinion on something, and I know what you were saying that about we would never be able to get with the law passed here, but I sure wish we had one. It's just so many more things you can do, especially for football.
Yeah.
Baseball, at least you get 82 chances a year to use it.
Yeah.
But in football, it's kind of a waste of money for putting that much money into something.
It kind of is, but if you get one, you can start bidding for Final Fours and things, and you can use it in other ways. I tell you where Baltimore really missed the boat. Back in the 90s when they did the convention center, when they built the convention center, they could have built a new arena there. They could have made that part of it. The dome in St. Louis where the Rams played, that was part of their civic, that same kind of project. It was part of it, and that's how they got it done. This Stadium Authority was fully funded in those days, and they could have done it easily. Nothing against the Baltimore Arena. It's fine for what it is, but, man, I think we need an arena worse than anything,
Yeah, I do too. Maybe I might get my, what I like. So I'm watching it right now, and I'll end with this, Keith. Bruce.
Yeah.
And Steve. And it's a WNBA take, But did you hear this guy? His last name is Ocho, I believe, as it is Ocho or Ocho. He said that Caitlin Clark should leave the WNBA because she's more problems than she is good. I can't believe a person would.
It's
make
ridiculous, Kevin. Caitlin Clark,
like that,
he gives up. She put him on the sports map. I mean, they got great players in that league, but nobody was paying attention before Caitlin Clark. You know, the other thing, Caitlin Clark sells tickets, and the WNBA needs to sell tickets. Don't you agree?
It's crazy to say something like that. You know, I think I told you this before. Next to Stephen Curry, the one with the the next most amount of jerseys for the NBA and WNBA is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
She's number 2 next to Stephen Curry, and you would want to get rid of that? That's nuts.
It's nuts. It makes no sense. Let them talk.
Yeah.
Let them talk. You know what?
Yeah.
She could go off and start her own league. You know, seriously.
Right.
I don't think I'd want to be a referee in that
well,
league.
she's so professional about. I mean, they physically assault some of these women out there. I mean, it's ridiculous. Tackling them as they go in for a layup. I mean, some of this in the WNBA is like pro wrestling. It's ridiculous. Except this is real. And it's not a fake move. They're actually doing it.
People are paying attention, though.
But she rolls with it, man.
Yeah.
She doesn't lose her cool. She just shoots more 3-pointers. And the friendship he has with Sophie Cunningham, I think that's cool.
Yeah. And then Angel Reese out of St. Francis. I met her when she's 15 years old.
Yeah, they're getting their product on the map.
They are. Let's get one more in here. Mike, let's go to Lou in Roland Park. Lou, what's going on?
Hi, guys. It's a great teaming of you two.
I think so, too. Thank you.
You're professionals, and you go back a long way, and you understand things. I heard a report out that Baltimore might be getting the All-Star game in 2030. I think that would be fantastic.
I read that too. Did you see that yesterday, Steve?
Yeah, Nightingale put that out, said that's the expectation. Obviously, there's been no announcement, but we're way overdue for that, so it's about time.
The other question I have, and I know you're short on time, this isn't a sports question, but it's a broadcasting radio question.
All right.
What happened to the Bay? Well, how come they got sold? And do you know anything about that?
All right.
They were a fantastic radio.
Yeah, they were. I can address. I have some friends at the Bay. In fact, I have some good friends at the Bay. So, yeah, thanks for the call. We'll address that right now. Steve, what non-broadcast people need to understand is that these are tough times in the broadcast business. Shamrock is a company that owned the Bay, and they're a newspaper company. Well, what's in worse shape than radio right now? Newspapers. I think that they saw the end coming, and K-Love, this is what they do all over the country. They buy up troubled radio stations, and then they just do a national broadcast. That's what happened to the Bay, and it's sad. Thing I liked about the Bay, it was classic rock, right? But you didn't hear Smoke on the Water or More Than a Feeling. I mean, they put some thought into it, and they cared about it. And I listened to them the other night, and I got really sad and melancholy, but it's the business now.
Yeah, the business sucks some days, and this is one of those days, and so they sold it and now made it some national religious programming or something.
K-Love, they call it. Mel Proctor, when he wrote his book, you probably have a copy. I loved it. He called it, I love my job, but I hate the business. That's about as evocative a thing as you're going to hear. You know, it's never been easy, and it's even worse now. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. I think all local broadcasting is in trouble.
I think you're probably right. I actually think this station, and I don't say it because I'm working for them, but I think this station does a good job of serving local listeners. We don't see that much anymore.
No, we don't. And
back in the day, there were some that served them incredibly well. I worked at one. And so, but I think this niche of sports radio at a time when the bigger industry of radio is struggling can still do well. And this station is thriving right now, by the way. And it's just showing if you do it right and you have a good product, people still find you.
Yeah, they do. And again, hats off to all the folks over at Huber and Brillhart, all you guys over there at the Bay. We're thinking about you, and we love you. And it's going to be okay. Believe me, it's going to be okay. At least now you can go the podcast route, the streaming route on your own if you want to.
There's life after leaving a major gig, as you have shown, as I have shown.
I've been fired several times, and it sucks. Let's get Roberto Mike real quick. Mike, what's on your mind? We got just a few seconds here. What's up?
Bruce, hey, Bruce. Yeah, I missed this show, man. I just tuned in maybe about 45 minutes ago, so I missed what you was talking about. But I just called to say hi, and
appreciate it.
Also, I'm just looking forward now to the promotions at the Orioles. I'm looking forward to bobblehead night with Pete Alonso and the promotions, because I'm pretty much bummed out with them this year.
I hear you. You got to have something to look forward to. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Good hearing from you. Quick bobblehead story. You might remember this. They did one of Rick Dempsey, and you press the button, and it's saying "Old Time Rock and Roll." You remember that one?
I do.
Do you remember? We would do live shots.
I still have the one that Chuck Thompson makes a call.
Yeah, I have that. But you see all those bobbleheads in that window?
Yeah.
All of them are gone. Nobody in that window is still here. But the Rick Dempsey bobblehead came out, and we were doing live shots. And as you've seen, the Oriole PR, they bring down those to hold up, for people. Right. Well, the Rick Dempsey one looked just like me. Everybody's saying, man, that looks like you. And I said, what? And I look, and he said, yeah, it kind of, here comes Dempsey. And I said, Rick, did you see this? And he looks at it, and he looks at me, and then he looks at it again, and he says, which one of us should be pissed off? I've never, ever, ever forgotten that line. Oh. Stick around, folks. We're going to wrap it up next. Mike Popovic's going to pay us a visit, too.
Big Bad Morning Show. Vinny and Haynie. 3 deep. Live on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 6 till 6. Search 105.7 The Fan, Baltimore. And never miss a moment of coverage on the teams you love.
Hey, it's Vinny Soto. Simplify your busy schedule at Town Appliance's back-to-school shopping event. Elevate your kitchen with the premium quality of a new Bosch refrigerator, or power through after-school dinner cleanup with an ultra-quiet Bosch dishwasher. Whatever you need to keep your family on track, Mayor & Mayor offer flexible financing to make it happen. So stop by their showroom right off Reisterstown Road in Owings Mills. Call, text, or visit townappliance.com today. And don't forget to tell them Vinny sent you. Just ask for Mayor, and you can't go wrong.
Are you a can kicker / procrastinator? Here's the deal with can kickers. One day that can could be a bucket, and that's not something you want to kick. When it comes to life insurance, you can't procrastinate another day, because today is the day to call Big Lou. If you're 50 to 60, maybe a little porky, on meds or type 2 diabetes, you may qualify. Big Lou specializes in people with real-life health glitches, because everyone's got one or two. Then Big Lou knows how to tip the scales in your favor. A $1 million term life policy may only cost about $200 a month, depending on age, health, and the policy you choose. Remember, Big Lou's like you. But when it comes to a can, he spends more time sitting on one. For affordable term life insurance today, call Big Lou at 800-777-1979, 800-777-1979, or biglou.com. When it comes to life insurance, don't kick the can. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979 or biglou.com.
Las Vegas was built for stars. And on August 22nd, 2 of boxing's biggest take center stage. Rolly Romero never follows the script.
This is my game.
Teofimo Lopez has never needed one.
This guy's got a big mouth.
For years, they've had plenty to say.
All you do is talk.
But with World Championship gold on the line, can they back it?
Teo, I'm here. I'm going all in.
It's time to put up or shut up. Rolly Romero versus Teofimo Lopez. August 22nd.
I'll shut you up.
Watch on DAZN and DAZN on Prime Video.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life, and you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech, plus gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. No application fee if you apply by September 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
I've got a song, I ain't got no melody. I'm gonna sing it to my friends.
Welcome back. We're just about done. This flew by.
It did.
But one thing we've started doing here, we like to transition. We like to toss to the guy coming on next, and we're going to bring in Mike Popovic right now. And Mike, tell me you weren't surprised when you heard this show today.
I was. So I'm walking back with the family from the farmer's market, and I was listening on the free Odyssey app, and all of a sudden you said, I've got some news, and I'm thinking, what news? Like, we didn't get any company email to keep secret or anything, or a text or anything. I was like, what? I was like, I don't think Bruce is, stepping away. It's once a week. I know you love doing this, and it's appointment setting radio, noon to 3. I was like, what could this news be? So I was befuddled and bewildered until you made mention of the new pairing.
It's working out pretty well, don't you think?
It is. I've listened to a good portion of it. Steve, congratulations to you. And I texted Joe LaCroix, our brand manager, and I said, well, I've had Steve on as a semi-regular guest, and I appreciate your accessibility, Steve, here over the last couple of years, and the 2 to 4 are now back to our 3 to 6 time slot. So I said, listeners are definitely familiar with you on Saturdays here.
Well, I'm thrilled to be part of this thing with Bruce, and I've listened to Bruce's show followed by Mike's show for a long time, and I think the programming on the Fan on Saturday is exceptional, and it doesn't fall off a bit from what we hear during the week. So keep doing your thing, Mike.
Yeah, no, we'll do.
Hey, what are we talking about on your show today?
Yeah, we've got a lot. Well, the number one is big in Baltimore today, so I'll explain what I mean by that. Obviously, we're going to recap the O's game and preview it. Andy Motzko is going to join me around 3:40 to recap the 53rd Annual White Marlin Open. Of course, that's why I was out last Saturday. We had a great week. Frank Vespi of the Racing Biz will join me around 4:15 to sort out all this Preakness news.
I'll be listening for that. That's fascinating right now. And you know what? That broke the day of the Adley trade, so it got very little attention.
It did for all weeks for me to be out. The trade deadline was on, I guess, essentially my first day or second day of vacation, right? / White Marlin Open, and then right with all the horse racing news. And I talk a fair amount. I know you did as well, or you have as well, Bruce. On Saturday, we may talk more than anything they do during the weekdays with horse racing. That is, but we'll definitely sort all that out. Our own Cordell Woodland will join me around 5:15. We'll find out what he's looking for tonight specifically in the Ravens preseason game against the Eagles, and I'll ask him a few thoughts on the O's as well. So we've got, plenty to cover. But Steve, I have to ask you though, Bruce, if it's okay, Steve, I got to ask you, last night, the play, and I know it had a great night, Gunnar Henderson at third base though, late in the game, 1st and 3rd, no out though. Did you think that he was a bit aggressive on contact? Shouldn't he have stayed closer to the base in case it went to 3rd, which ultimately it did?
I think they had the contact play on, which the Orioles often use, meaning you break, because if you take time to think, you're going to be dead at the plate. So I think they had the contact play on, and he did the best he could do, knowing they're going to have him easily, like getting in a rundown, because essentially they wound up with about what they would have had, if he stayed at 3rd. So you don't want an easy around-the-horn double play with you standing on the bag. And so when they hit a ball like that to 3rd with 1st and 3rd, often the runner breaks home.
Okay. Now, Encarnacion and Strand, was that a heads-up base-running play by him, or did he think that Henderson was going to give himself up? Because last night, I'm thinking that might have been one of the smartest base-running plays the Orioles have had all year by keeping Henderson at 3rd, by him sacrificing himself, or was that a misread?
No, when you get in that rundown, that's what Gunnar wants. He wants you to get to his base. Yeah. And I thought it was a mistake by Tampa to tag out. I'm not sure if they could have picked the guy to take off the bases, but I would have taken Gunnar off of 3rd before Encarnacion Strand because of the speed factor, and they tagged Strand 1st. I'm not sure if that's an umpire call or just whoever you tagged, that's who you get to be out first.
Yeah, although the ump seemed pretty definitive as to who he called out and who he was really safe. It was pretty immediate.
No, that was a good question. Now, let's switch to football tonight.
Yes.
I'll be watching the offensive line. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was one of the main storylines last year was the interior offensive line. We got a rookie there, but Emory Jones has had a good camp so far. We're hearing all the other guys that are in the mix there. We definitely want to see that center position is still up for grabs because remember, Pochik from Cleveland, he's got health issues. So there's no guarantee that he's going to be, in fact, it's pretty much guaranteed he's not going to be a 17-game player. So who else is in that mix, whether it's Gwynn or whether it's Bullock or whoever else is competing for that center spot.
Let me throw one other name at you tonight to both of you to watch for. Adam Randall, the running back. He drafted him in the 5th round out of Clemson. 6'3", 240, a converted wide receiver. He has had a great camp. He's going to get a lot of touches tonight.
That was the Bisciotti pick.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, no, look, I tell you, when you're looking at the running back room, you've got some similar backs when you take a look at a guy like Justice Hill, and then I'm trying to remember the kid out of Marshall that they drafted a couple of years ago. But my question is,
Ali,
right? Yeah. Who do you have behind Derrick Henry that can mimic a Derrick Henry? And he may be just that guy.
Interesting point. Interesting point. All right, Mike, I know you still got stuff to do. We're going to wrap this thing up. We'll be listening on the way home, I promise.
Sounds good. Hey, guys, congratulations. Loved hearing your first show here. Steve, congrats, and we'll be listening to the Saturdays ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Mike.
that.
Thanks.
You know what? Talking about listening to him on the way home, I used to listen to you driving home late at night. And it was funny because there were times a caller would call with maybe a less than intelligent question, and I thought, Steve's not afraid to show a little exasperation when he needs to.
Well, in my younger days, I was even more feisty than now. I still got a little feisty in me occasionally, but in my younger days, if I could do it over again, I probably would have been less combative with some callers. But I was being me, so I was true to myself. It's what I wasn't putting on airs.
Well,
back in the day, Mike Hargrove used to listen driving home.
Is that right?
And when I would go to do the manager, or we'd get the manager in the dugout every day. First thing you'd always say to me is, "You tell Joe and Dundalk I said that." I'm like Grover, FM, buddy. What are you doing listening to that every night?
Awesome.
he would call out the callers, and I'll tell you, he was so good to me because he heard that show. Yeah. He said to me, "When the writers leave my office, if you need to ask me a question that you haven't had asked, come back and ask it."
Wow.
And he did, because there were a lot of times I'd say, "Tell me exactly why you went to so-and-so in the 7th.
Yeah.
And he'd give me, and then someone would call and go, "Why did he go to so-and-so in the 7th? And I knew the answer because he told me.
That's great. I used to take Bud, my son, to spring training. You may have seen us down there a couple of times, but Grover was the manager. And he had gotten used to the fact that you go out early and you get your stuff done, and you're usually done by about noon or 1 o'clock. Well, it got to be that time, and he's ready to go, but Cal was going to report early, and he wasn't expected to. So we're all sitting in the dugout down there waiting on Cal. And Grover comes over, and he shakes Bud's hand, and he says, "Well, let's take a walk, young man." So they walk all around the infield, and Grover's got his hand on Bud's shoulder.
Wow.
And so they come back, and I said, "Well, what did he say to you?" And he goes, "Get your glove all the way down on a ground ball. Watch the ball." Hey, he's giving him fundamentals as they walk around the infield. It really was.
By the way, the lineup's out. Guess who's in first tonight? Tyler O'Neill is batting leadoff. Gunner's still 5th. So I'll go real quick.
Let's go. Yeah.
O'Neill, Alonso, Holiday, Mayo, Henderson, Encarnacion Strand, Franklin, Tavares, Narvaez with Bradish on the mound.
Okay. Well, that's the best they're going to do. That's for sure. I like the pitching matchup for the Orioles tonight. I'm not crazy about the Tampa Bay starter, and it looks like maybe if Bradish
if he could stick it where that could be a big 2-0 edge in a series where we were wondering if they're going to win one.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the Ravens tonight. It's a good night to be a Baltimore sports fan. Bob Haynie said yesterday he's going to have 2 TVs set up so he can watch both.
And a cocktail for each.
Well, Miller or Michelob
yeah, of course.
Ultra.
Nothing too fancy.
No, nothing. Well, he's a Glen Burnie guy, And I live next door in Pasadena, so we don't put on airs down
Same
there.
way, yeah. Don't need anything fancy.
When I first moved to Pasadena, I'm sitting at a stoplight, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of motorcycles and pickup trucks down here. And then about a year into it, I said, hey, look at all the motorcycles and pickup trucks. And I drive a pickup truck now.
There you
so
go.
The transition
You're fitting in
is
better
complete.
than ever.
Well, Steve, I just couldn't be happier. I'm looking forward to this.
We had a great
basis.
show, man, I think people are going to enjoy listening to us. And I say to your audience, thank you guys for accepting me, because this show has been without me for a long time, and you were solo for a long time, Bruce. You've done a great job. As I said, I was a long time listener to the show. To be on it now, That's pretty cool.
Well, welcome. We're happy to have you. And as I always say, Baltimore, I love you madly. Ain't nothing you can do about it either. Till next week. See ya.
If you're thinking about it,
every day.
We're talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
105.7 The Fan.
Will you have enough money for retirement? Will it last? Listen to Andy Palladino in your Financial Hour every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. for insightful advice.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by September 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
This Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., it's the 12-hour sale event at Ashley. Save up to 70% store-wide, plus enjoy free delivery. Plus, we're giving away prizes every hour. Big savings, big giveaways, and one big day to shop. Don't miss the 12-hour sale this Saturday at Ashley.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Is there anything Albert, my AI financial assistant, can't do? Albert, can you create a financial plan just for me?
Yes. I've reviewed your accounts, income, and spending. Here's your plan and a few suggestions.
Great. Any savings I'm missing out on?
I reorganized your budget and found an extra $500 this month. Would you like me to transfer that to your savings?
Sure.
Done.
Oh, I'm thinking about moving. Can you get me more cash?
Albert can get you a loan up to $10,000 fast. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect. Looks like Albert really can do everything.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GAIN to try Genius, your AI financial assistant, and get up to $10,000. Just download the Albert app and use promo code GAIN to try Genius and get up to $10,000. Promo code GAIN.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Mike Popovic Show on Sports Radio, 105.7 The Fan.
Clock straight up in Charm City on this Sports Saturday, hour number 4 of 6 hours of live and local sports talk exclusively here on 105.7 The Fan. Good to be back with you out last Saturday for vacation / Whitemoreland Open, and we'll recap the 53rd annual that wrapped up last Saturday night at 9:15 at the Scales. We'll recap that with Andy Monsko about 3:40 this afternoon, but a lot to get to here. I mentioned earlier Frank Vespi is going to be on with us at 4:15 to talk about all this Preakness news. Again, of all weeks for there to be major horse racing news, and I'm on vacation. And then our own Cordell Woodland will join us at 5:15 to talk about the Ravens and Eagles preseason game tonight, and we'll get his take on the O's as well. But first things first, again, congratulations to Steve Molesky, Bruce Cunningham, Steve Molesky, now Saturdays from noon until 3. And I've been a long-time listener of